Long way, get this shit a long way, long way, long way, hit it long way, 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 shit, long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way. Gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day. Get money every single way and every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get this shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my palm strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get this shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a palm way. When I ain't Atari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done Atari. Yesterday she told me that she bout to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the palm way, yeah. Man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we get the long way, yeah.
I like that song, man. I really, so crazy why I chose that song, and it fit really, really good with it, because it's when getting out of debt, it seemed like it's the long way. It really does. It seemed like it's the long way, but when you get out, you're like, that's the only way. There is no long way, short way. That was the only way. Okay. And with the different money falling down, it still fits correctly, because once you understand what SMD teaches, it won't matter what country you live in, as long as it is a capitalist economy, you'll fit right in, because you'll know exactly what to do. It won't matter that you will know the actual paper money means nothing. That doesn't mean anything. As long as you go to the country and the majority of the people are in debt, okay, that's capitalist. Let's go. Let's take off. Let's do. So welcome, everybody. My name is LJ Young. I am the founder of SMD. And I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is where debt slaves live. Now, there's two kinds of debt slaves: unconscious debt slaves and conscious debt slaves. Unconscious debt slaves can't see negative numbers psychologically, which is my gift. I have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. And if you don't know what that means, and you believe you're a homeowner, open up your calculator, enter your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and then hit equal, okay? And as you're looking at the calculator, I just want you to listen to the sound of my voice, all right? The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. You can obviously see them physically because you're looking at your calculator now, okay? See, but you still probably believe you're a homeowner, all right? And here's the reason why you believe that: because you're a debt slave living in the debt matrix. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what is the debt matrix? The debt matrix is the space between your calculator and your brain, okay? All right. And the debt matrix is where the banks set up shop. This is where all the banks and financial institution, everybody's trying to sell you shit. They live here in the debt matrix. All right. Retirement accounts, all that. They all live there. All right. So as you look at the calculator like the example I just gave you right now, you see a large negative number. By the time that negative number passes through the debt matrix to your brain, it becomes a positive number. Now you believe you own the equity in a house that you didn't have the money to buy. You believe you're a homeowner, all that good stuff. You believe you're making payments on a car, on a brand new car. You think the car is yours. You finance cell phones. You think the cell phone is yours. It's crazy as it passes through the debt matrix. All right. Now, there's conscious debt slaves who were once unconscious, but now they believe the calculator. That's all you got to do. If you want to be successful in the capitalist economy, all you got to do is trust the calculator. All right. That's it. Calling wealth a secret is the secret, okay? Because it's not a secret. You just got to trust the calculator, right? Now they believe the calculator. They understand that they were debt slaves, and if you're in the negative, they believe the calculator. Believe they're in the negative. That means if you're in the negative, that means you own nothing. Nope, nothing. And if you're in the negative, that means somebody owns you. Yep, because that means you owe. If you're in the negative, that means you owe somebody money. Now you're probably thinking, well, who owns me? All you got to do is log into your credit report, skip over the credit score, go into the meat of it. Those are all the businesses that own you. Okay. That's it. That's how you get. And then once you pay those people back their money, they no longer own you. That's how it works. Okay. So this is what SMD does. I help people. I share my gift, the ability to see negative numbers psychologically, because that was me up till age 40. All the way up to age 40. Now, but this is since this is a debt-free Friday, I want you guys to understand what woke me up. Okay, because I was an unconscious debt slave, became a conscious debt slave, and then I freed myself by finding Dave Ramsey and all that other stuff, right? But before I found Dave Ramsey, I still had to know. I didn't know I was a debt slave. Okay, you guys got to understand something. I was a college educated, computer engineer, college educated, six-figure earner, all that good stuff that people in the debt matrix believes it's something. Okay. That was me. I thought I knew something was wrong, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. I had the nice place, the nice car, and all this other stuff that comes along with it, but something was still missing. I didn't know what it was. And you know who woke me up? The bank woke me up. The very people that have been so-called helping me my entire life, they woke me up. But people, they give people they try to wake people up. The banks are not evil. They try to wake you up, right? If you try to get a home loan and they turn you down, they're telling you something. They're saying you can't afford a house. They're doing you a favor. Okay, but anyway, the bank woke me up. So this is how the bank woke me up. One day I went to go try to get a loan for something. Who knows what if I was trying to get a loan, I'm sure it was for pay off some nonsense or whatever I financed, whatever, right? I've always had good credit, good job, all that stuff. But this time they told me no. Now I was shocked. I was like, what? They said no. They said your DTI ratio is too high. I was like, DTI, debt to income ratio. What is that? All this money I'm making, I'm just now discovering what the meaning of DTI is. So I go read it. I go read the bank's explanation of DTI. Oh, okay. You take this, you take your bills, and then your percentage, and then you got 43% of how you take all your monthly bills, do this, divided by the gross, your monthly gross income. Gross income, by the way, so you guys can understand. We'll talk about that later. Your gross income. I don't know how the banks get away with this shit. This shit is funny when I be saying it out loud. But anyway, they take divided by your gross income, break it up, and then they tell you how much money you have to spend out of your own money. They tell you. Now, when you're in the debt matrix, you just think that's normal. You're like, oh, okay. They told me I can have, if I have this much money in bills, they say I can afford this. So, well, okay, if you think that. But anyway, I read the DTI definition, but then something clicked with me. I said, well, wait a minute. Hold up. Okay, wait a minute. I got a great credit score. I've never missed payments on any bills, never been behind, never had debt collectors after me. But this time you guys are saying, no, wait, I got everything you guys told me that I had to have to get loans every time. But this time, listen, this is how it woke me up. This time I was like, wait a minute, I meet all your criterias, but this time you're telling me no. Right there, something didn't make sense to me. I said, wait, why? I said, I know you guys are telling me about the DTI, but that doesn't change the fact that I have a great credit score, never miss payments, blah blah blah. They said, well, that's what we says according to that's what we say according to the DTI. I was like, I said to myself, in order for me to get that high credit score, make the payments on time, I had to stay in debt, just like they wanted me to. Ding 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 ding. That's a signal right there. I had to be in debt. I had to get to this point. I Following all the rules got me to this point of how much debt I was in, because they kept giving it to me. Hey, you got great credit score, you got good payment history. Here, take these loans, take these loans, take these loans. Now you can't have no more loans. I was like, uh-oh, something doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. So I started typing I think I was looking for a deeper definition for debt to income ratio. And then I came across Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey's philosophy basically says, take the arithmetic that we all learned in elementary school, apply it to your personal finances using these baby steps. That's it. Sure is. That was it. Now, when I first saw that, I was like, it cannot be that easy. It's so stupid when I say these things out loud. I think to myself, what do you mean? It's just math. What do you mean easy or not? What's the calculator say? But when you're deep in the debt matrix, you say to yourself, this is what the people in the debt matrix say. And because I said it, that was me. If it was so easy, everybody would be doing it. That's what I used to say to myself. If it's so easy, everybody would be doing it. Yeah, but they're not. Isn't that obviously that they're not? They're not. So I did it. Follow Mr. Ramsey. I didn't need to buy any of his programs because I immediately, maybe because I was an engineer, I immediately understood the concept that he was teaching. Take the math, apply it to your finances, and you'll win. Period. That's how it works. There's no rocket science behind it. That's what I did. If it wasn't for Mr. Ramsey, ignoring all the people that I am sure that came at him the same way people come at me, I am sure of it. And he battled through it. And now he's a multi-millionaire. Congratulations. If it wasn't for him going through all that, I wouldn't be here today, because there was nobody to tell me. There would have been nobody to answer that DTI question for me, because I didn't know what to ask. I didn't know why that didn't make sense. That by following the rules is what got me deep in debt. But this time they're telling me, no, there was nobody to answer that question for me except Mr. Ramsey. So I took what Mr. Ramsey showed me, and I was like, wait a minute, if it's just math, what's that have to do with religion? Nothing. That's just his spin on it. He just adds religion to his business. That's all. And nothing more than that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I said, cool. Okay. Well, I don't need religion added to math, because religion has nothing to do with mathematics. 1 + 1 = 2, no matter what religion you believe in. And then even I got down to his baby step, whatever, that says, hey, start putting away 15% away to retirement when you get down to your mortgage. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, according to the laws of mathematics, you ain't got no money to put 15% away anything, anywhere. So I stripped that out. Why is it there? That's called business. Okay, nothing wrong with it. It's just business. It don't make any mathematical sense. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it's called business. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean? The majority of people finance brand new cell phones. That's called business. That cell phone didn't cost that much. First of all, it didn't cost that much to make. They add the profit on it, and then on top of that, you finance it. And then everybody in debt who finances stuff, they finance taxes too. Because if they ain't got the money for the product, they showing the fuck ain't got the money for the taxes. So they finance taxes too. Debt slaves don't know that. So once I stripped all that out and got down to the basics, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. There's something here that I'm missing. I know it's an easy answer for it. So I'm trying for years, man. Then I finally got the answer. The ability to see negative numbers psychologically. That is the answer, period. That is the answer to all capitalist economies. That is the answer. And people think, oh, what do you mean? That's not a gift. I can prove everything I'm saying. I can prove. If the majority could see negative numbers psychologically, student loan debt wouldn't exist. How do I know this? Because I don't have any. Trillions of car loan debt wouldn't exist either. You know why? How do I know this? Because I don't have any. That's how I know. I don't want that. I love the way the economy is. It's all by choice. Ain't nobody holding anybody back. Anybody back. You choose to trust the calculator or not. That's totally up to you. So when you get out of debt, guess what? You own yourself. I didn't know that until I got out of debt. I did not. And I want you guys to clearly understand something when I say this. It wasn't until I got out of debt that I finally owned myself, because I didn't know I didn't own myself while I was in debt. It wasn't until I got to zero. I'm like, wait a minute, this is the first time I've actually owned myself. Yep. Ding, ding, ding. That's right, Linnell. You sure right. And then guess what you realize you know what I realized at that moment? Time is the most valuable thing on earth, not money, time. Guess what? When I was in debt, no money existed for me. No currency could exist for me. I was in debt. Debt slaves can't own anything. That again, it's against the laws of mathematics for debt slaves to own anything. That's against the laws of mathematics. You know why these laws are not enforced? Because you're doing it to yourself. If you don't trust the calculator, that means you are against the laws of mathematics, and you're only punishing yourself. They don't need to come after you for breaking the law. You're punishing yourself by not trusting the calculator. I promise you that. You are punishing yourself every single day. And once you realize time is the most valuable thing on earth and you own yourself, guess what? My whole entire life changed at that moment. Especially as a man, because when you're a young man, you think it's all about women and fucking and how many women you can conquer and treat them like trash and be a pimp. And no, that's wrong. I'm here to tell you that's wrong. None of that is true. What you're really doing is you're listening to other people tell you what to do with your own dick. That obviously means you don't own yourself. That's obvious. All that changes once you own yourself, because guess what? Especially as a man, hey man, I'm glad I got this information as a mature adult, because I probably would have abused it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I probably would have abused it. Because once you own yourself, you won't settle for anybody. You will never take a person serious that doesn't own themselves. I would never take a woman seriously if she didn't own herself. That would be absolutely pointless. That's why when some of these channels you guys go to and they got women and all over the screens doing this, hey man, that's just that's your private parts owning you. Because once you own yourself, hey, you won't. I promise you, it won't rule you like that. Like if you're paying, listen, if you are paying to see it, that's a problem. That should tell you something. You're paying to see it. That doesn't happen when you own the time in your life, because you would never procreate with a woman I would never procreate with a woman that didn't own herself. You go out on a date, check this out. You go on like the woman looks good. She's got her stuff together. She's college educated. She got a great job. She's a lawyer, accountant, owns her own business, whatever. It don't even matter, right? You go out on a date and then you find out she has $150,000, $200,000 in student loan debt. You're like, oh yeah. We can't do anything. She's gonna be like, why? You got $200,000 in student loan debt. What are you gonna do about that? That you've had for at least the last 10 years. Because that's the next question. You got student loan debt? Yeah. How long have you had that? 10 years? Oh, they're in forbearance or whatever. Hey, yeah, we're not going on. This is, I'm telling you, I would be this honest. Okay. This is how honest I would be. If I found that out, I'd be like, hey, we can continue seeing each other, but we're never going to get serious ever. Okay. You never will have to hide your phone from me because I will never look. If you didn't call me back, you just don't call me back. Because they would know from the beginning, and then say like you're with them about, because a lot of women believe sex, and it does, sex changes people's emotions and feelings change. Oh, well, maybe. No, it will never change, because after each sexual encounter, I would remind her that this sexual session doesn't change what I said in the very beginning. That's exactly how I would say it each and every time, so there will be no misunderstanding. Because if you knew what it took to own yourself, you would never settle for less. Never, ever. You will know time is the most valuable thing on earth, and you will never waste it. Once you understand this, this is why, like, for example, have you ever gone to channels of people, listen, that have shows and they're always late? Have you noticed that? They're always late. That tells me something. They don't know. Because once you understand time is the most valuable thing on earth, you don't waste yours or anybody else's. Ever. You don't do that. But they're always late. Have you noticed that? I don't allow that. If I ever follow a channel and the one time or two times they're late, I just never go back to the channel. I'm not. What if, they say they start at 10, right? What if I plan, which I do, I plan my day. So maybe I want to watch this person's show at 10 o'clock, and then I start at 10. They don't start to 10:15, 10:20. That would automatically make my whole schedule get pushed 20 minutes due to not my fault. I would never allow that to happen. When you own the time in your life, that comes to the forefront. People will think you're an asshole about your time, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. You can't really care, especially about debt slaves. Debt slaves really don't care about time because they don't own theirs. They don't know that. That's why they don't care about time. That's why they're always looking at the clock, paying attention. Because when you own the time in your life, you don't ever look at the clock unless you have something scheduled. Then you get with somebody that doesn't care about the time in their life. No, sir. Shout out to Michael Rambo for the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. What's up, Aaron? Eric, Sal's, what's going on? William says, I've heard LJ say taxes can make you rich. It was confusing for me until I sat down and did the math. Maxing out your 401k contribution, 19.5 annually will make you rich. It sure will. It sure will. But you got to remember, debt slaves can't do that. They barely have $500 in their account. They will never be able to. And I always like to use myself in these examples, okay? I remember when I was a debt slave working, and I found out how much, when I first found out how much 401ks went up to 19,500, I was like, damn. Now, mind you, I'm making $100,000 a year. And when I heard that, I was like, damn, who can afford to put 19,500? Why would they ever make it that high? The reason why it's that high is to tell the people that know, hey, here's a tax break for you. Come get it. Here's a tax break. The only way I figured that out is the last year I worked, I was debt free. That was the first time. And this is a funny story because I didn't know this at the time, right? So when I got debt free, I still worked one more year. After a year, I couldn't take it no more. Okay, that's very unexplainable. But anyway, and not that it was a bad place. It's just I don't know. I felt trapped. That's the best way I can describe it to you. But anyway, the last year I maxed out. I figured that out. I figured about the tax savings. I was like, wait a minute, if I just max this out, man, that'll drop me a tax bracket and I get some more whatever, right? So I did that. So in my job, I could just log into my account, move the bar up, and then it'll tell you, this is how much you're gonna take out per year for your 401k, right? So I did that. Next thing you know, HR calls me. I don't know if it was the same day or the next day. They say, hey, Mr. Young, did you realize what you did? Did you put the bar all the way up? I said, yeah, I did that. Yeah. They was like, oh, okay. Well, we was calling to make sure you didn't make a mistake or anything. I was like, no. At the time, I'm like, no. I was kind of confused that, no. Okay. She was like, okay, bye. Click. Now that I'm out of the debt matrix, the reason why she did that, because nobody does that, because nobody can afford to do that. The majority of people at jobs with 401ks, the majority of those guys, you know what they're talking about? The match. Oh, I'm getting the match. You can't match negative dollars. They don't know they're matching nothing. You can't match anything when you're in debt. That's a trick. That's just to get you to contribute, because you wouldn't if they didn't. If they didn't put that there, half of you guys wouldn't even contribute at all. But since you guys believe you're getting free money, which is another trick, you guys do it. The real benefit is maxing it out. That's the real benefit. That's guaranteed ROI every single year. You're probably thinking, what do you mean that's guaranteed ROI? Because you're doing something millions of people cannot. That's the ROI. Millions can't do that. They don't even know it. What's up, E-Man? You combine and this is like, I'm gonna tell you guys this. This is practice for those of you that have jobs and you become debt free. 401ks and HSAs, that's called tax practice. Before you get out and start your own business, I want you to see what you can do as a regular employee. Once you see it, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, I can do more of this in business. Yeah, first you got to own yourself. The first test is this. If you're ready for business, okay, and you have a job, can you max out a 401k? If you can't, you ain't ready. Can you match it? Can you max out a HSA every year? No, you ain't ready. You'll never see the true benefits of business ever, because you must first own the business of yourself. What's up, Enigma? Enigma says an iPhone costs $490 to make, and Apple sold it for $14. Yeah, and that's just the base price. You got to remember, debt slaves finance them after that, and they finance the taxes too, and all the accessories to it. Can you see how much money they're killing the game? Killing the game. Now debt slaves believe financing phones is normal. Normal. You see how they did it? They believe it's normal. If you and your friends all have financed cell phones, you guys are all debt slaves. That's why you guys are friends. You think I knew that when I had a finance cell phone? I didn't know that. But yeah, everybody, when I think back about it, we always ask, hey, how much is your phone payment a month? If you're mentioning phone payments, that's why you guys are friends. I'm going to drop the link here in a minute, NC Big, so I'd love to hear it. It must be a pulling down your mask in public. Time is the most valuable thing on earth. Your dating problems will be pretty much 95% solved, because you'll never date a person that doesn't own themselves, ever. You'll never take them serious, ever. Your confidence will go through the roof. If you are a person with a low self-esteem, all that changes. All of it changes. Because you'll never care about what debt slaves, their opinions of you, what they think, what they drive, where they live, what kind of clothes they wear, if they're going on vacation, if they're in private plane. That don't mean nothing. You see all that? You just say, hey, let me see your personal credit report. Let me see your personal credit report, and I'll believe everything you're showing me. Okay, let me see. They don't know what you're looking for. Let me make sure you guys understand that. Even when I say this out loud, hey, let me see your personal credit report. Debt slaves have no idea why I would want to see their personal credit report. They have no clue. They think I'm looking for their credit score. Oh, what do you want to know my credit score? I don't care about your credit score. I don't care about your credit score. Credit scores don't mean nothing. When you look at credit scores, that they just determine a high valued slave. If you're in 700, 800, you're a high valued slave. If you're 600, 500, you're a low valued slave. That's it. If you're 700, you're a medium valued slave. You're still debt slaves. Doesn't matter. The look inside the credit report tells me everything I need to know. And if you've been in debt all your life, you don't have no idea what I'm looking for. You never will. You never can. Kenneth says, LJ, I bought my iPhone 13 Pro cash. I like that. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate it. And people kept asking me how much I was paying monthly. Right. Right. And you know what, Kenneth? You better not open your mouth that you paid cash for an iPhone, because they're going to think you're rich. They can think, hey, man, Kenneth got some money. He paid cash for it. You better say, this is what you need to do, Kenneth. You need to make up, find out what the average monthly 13 Pro payment is, and you better start saying that price. You don't want them asking to borrow money from you. Okay, you don't want that. Now, if you're new to the channel, man, and you want to get out of this, then let me give you guys a little back history of me so you can understand. I don't want you guys thinking I'm above you. I'm just showing you something it's a gift. Okay, I'm just sharing it. Okay, I grew up in Seattle. In our so-called projects, I mean, compared to other projects, it didn't really feel like, it wasn't like projects in Chicago projects. It was not like that, but it was projects called Rainer Vista in Seattle, Washington. Right. This is where I grew up in. Now, my growing up, it wasn't bad. Even though I was in the project, it didn't feel like I was in the project because I had all my friends around me. So when I was a kid, I just didn't feel like that. Okay. I didn't know I was in the projects until I started going to school. And then I used to have kids tease me about where I lived. Right now, remember, I've always been self-confident, so that didn't bother me if somebody teased me about where I live. I just say shut up, or because I was never a small guy. I never allowed myself to be bullied. I was always an aware person, kid, always. Right. So them saying that didn't bother me, but it made me realize, okay, I live in a place that I guess people that don't have money live. Right. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm figuring it out. But I didn't really care because I had fun. I mean, my experience in Rainer Vista was fun. Okay. I just didn't have no problems. Right. Had all my friends. Anyway, though I lived in the project as a kid, I knew the kids not to hang around with. I mean, okay, thanks to my mom, right? I had to be in at a certain time. I had to be in before dark. I had to be in the bed at 9 o'clock. I had chores, and I used to hate it at the time, but now I understand why. Thank God. Shout out to my mom. Thank God she did. That was structure. It was structure. I had to be in the bed at 9. So that means if I had to brush my teeth and wash my face or whatever, I did start doing that at 8:45. I didn't start doing it at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, lights off in the bed, period. That's how it was, right? And I had chores every day after school, weekends, blah, blah, blah. Hated it, but now I understand, right? So that kept me out of trouble, but it also taught me not to hang around the bad kids that were in my neighborhood, because they were bad. They were definitely bad kids, and because as we grew older, they was in juvenile, they were going to jail, and I was like, nah, I'm good with that. They would go and hang out and catch the bus to downtown Seattle on a school night at 10:30. I was like, nah, man, I can't do that. My mom will whoop my ass for that. No, sir, I'm going home. As soon as I hear the buzz of the night lights come on, I had to be heading home. That's how it was, period. There was no reason for no other excuses. And anyway, as I grew up, I just kept them values. And I was like, okay, well, when I was young, I was like, man, I want to work in the office. I want to wear nice clothes. So I just made it up in my mind, okay, what do I got to do to do that? So that's what I did. I just, okay. I remember being at home one day watching television, and they started talking about computer stuff and gigabytes of this and PC CPUs that and hard drive this and gigabytes and megabytes. And I didn't understand. I said, you know what? Computers is the future. And and this was back in like 95. And what really got me going is this. I remember And when Windows 95 came out, and remember Bill Gates, Microsoft, that they're from Seattle, Washington, right? I remember Microsoft made a big deal about that. Brought in rock bands, rented out stadium for this big opener. Now I didn't know what the big deal was because I wasn't a computer person, but at that time they were going from Windows 3.1.1 to Windows 95, and if you knew back then what that meant, that was big. And I just thought to myself, okay, computers is here to stay, man. Period. That's what I thought. So that's why I just went to school. Now, I remember the majority of my friends that I grew up with, they were like, "Oh man, LJ, that's stupid. That's for white people." This I used to think, I thought to myself, that is the stupidest. I had to keep it to myself, but I was thinking that is the stupidest nonsense I've ever heard in my life. Oh, they ain't gonna let black people in there. This and that. I was like, okay, I cannot think like that. That's what I said at a very young age. I didn't have nobody telling me this. This was just me. So I went to school. Of course, I was probably the only, me and maybe one other black dude that was in there. Now, remember, I'm going to college learning this at about 27. So I'm one of the older people in the class. I had to ignore all that, thinking I'm too old to be in a classroom and all. I had to get over all that. Because these kids they knew DOS back then. They knew DOS and commands. I didn't know any of that. Okay. And you got to remember, we're computer people, computer guys, we're logical, right? And if you don't know something, we might say something in a way like it sounds like you're dumb for not knowing it, but it's just the way we respond to something. Oh, you don't know that? Okay. And it's not like we're going to show you, right? Not going to show. But then again, trust me, there's some that were assholes. I ain't gonna lie, but I had to ignore all that too. Went through school. I said, I want to be one of the top engineers. I want to be one of the best ones. So that's what I did. I applied myself, read, and then years later down in my career, I was a top virtualization engineer ending my career. I reached my goal. 160 was because I wanted to make six figures. There was always new goals I would set up. I want to see what it like to make six figures, blah, blah, blah. So my last job, I made $160,000 a year. Now, I didn't know, and this is until recently, I didn't know the percentage of people that make six-figure earners, 6 figures a year. That's very small. I didn't realize it was that small. Honestly, I didn't really think about that. So I said, so I achieved all that. And then once I got to that level, then I would run into my old friends that I grew up with. And they would ask, "Hey, LJ, what you doing, man?" I said, I'm a computer engineer. They were like, "Man, you said you was going to do that shit, right?" I said, "Yeah." And they said, "You did it, man." "Yeah, I did it." And now, since I've reached that goal, then I was like, okay, I need another goal. I don't know. It's just me. I can't just sit around and not have goals. And then I was sitting in my fancy apartment with my car and all that stuff. I said, this can't be it. This cannot be it. I just do this until I'm dead. Nope. Once I got out of debt, that was it. Everything opened up. Everything is possible. Everything. Sal says, quit making those payments, having y'all stressed out through yeah, they do. What's up, Andre? What's going on, man? LJ was the alien in the I was. So crazy though, Sal. I remember growing up, my friends knew I was different. They did. They always knew I was different. I would hang around. They knew I was always athletic and doing everything that everybody. I was part of the cool crowd, whatever. I was just always that person, right? Always pick for teams, always, right? But they knew I was different. I knew I was different, but I didn't really know how to. Okay, maybe I'm just a little smarter than them. I don't know. I just didn't know. And not even talking shit. I always knew I was gonna be somebody. Always knew that. I didn't know if it was gonna be like. here's one thing I want to tell you guys this story real quick. I remember when I was maybe 10, 11, somewhere around there, 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there, right? And I was living in Rainier Vista, and I remember this baseball coach came through, right? We're outside playing or something, right? And this baseball coach comes through, And I don't know what we were playing. I really don't. Maybe we're playing baseball. I'm not quite sure because we used to play a lot of stick baseball with a tennis ball and stuff like that, right? What and maybe we're playing it. I can't remember, right? But anyway, came to the Vista and he said, "Hey, man, you ever think about wanting to play baseball?" I was like, "No," because I had never played no sports up to that point, right? Never, right? He's like, "You ever think about playing baseball?" I was like, "No," whatever I said, right? So much to where he came and talked to my mom and asked my mom, "Could I play baseball?" I was like, "Damn, this dude's serious." Right? I said, "Okay, cool." So my mom agreed, right? It wasn't that far, so I could just ride my bike to the practice field. That's what I always did, because my mom worked. And so we just okay, say, okay, I'm gonna start you here. Now I know nothing about baseball. So he's explaining everything to me. Okay, this is first, this is second, this is shortstop, that's the pitcher in the middle. You can't do this, you can't take when you pitch, you can't take your foot off the I mean, all this shit, right? So I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah. I seen that on TV. This I'm thinking as a kid. He's like, okay, I'm gonna start you here. I'm gonna start you in, I think he started me like shortstop. He said, you got to stop the ball that comes between second and third. All right. That's what you got to do. And you got to, if somebody's running on base, you got to throw it this way. Blah. I said, okay, cool. Right. And he gave me a mitt. I was like, hey, I'm right-handed. He's like, well, yeah, I know, but you got to throw with your right hand. So you got to catch with your left. Right. I was like, oh, okay. All right. So he puts me there. I said, all I got to do is catch that ball coming. And he's like, yeah. So he hits him. I'm just catching him, throwing. He said, you got to throw it to that first base over there. I said, okay, cool. It wasn't nothing. And then all of a sudden he moved me to third, and then he moved me to center field, and then he moved me to pitcher. He said, okay, I need you to hold the ball like this, put your two fingers on the thread, and then when you twist it like this, it's going to do a curve, and then it's going to do this. I said, oh, is that all I have to do? And then I just did it. And we remained friends for years after now. This is the only thing that discouraged me. Like, this is the first time I really ran into some prejudice at this particular time. I remember one time we had a game. And we're kids at this time, so I don't really understand what happened here. But anyway, we went to this. I'm not going to even say the city. I'm just leave it alone. We went to this city, and then we were playing. The people in the crowd were calling us the N-word. The referees were cheating us clearly, and I couldn't understand it. So we ended up leaving. And I remember we went to try to go eat at a restaurant. They wouldn't serve us. I remember my coach coming out and telling me that. I was like, huh. Anyway, I ended up quitting baseball because of it. Anyway, my coach, he was like, I would see him years later, after I was, older. Every time I saw him, he'd be like, hey, that's my all in one guy. All in one guy. And now at first I didn't know why he used to call me that all in one guy. Now when I got older, I realized because it didn't matter what position he put me in, I killed it. Naturally, I didn't even think about it. I've always been that way, and that's how I am today. Here, let me put this link down here. Did I paste it already? No, I didn't, did I? Okay, there's a link. Kenneth says, LJ, I plan on going into the tech fields, pursuing my computer science degree. My community college will provide the associates for free and then transfer. That's a smart move because I want you, and I'm glad I got into computers because it allows you to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. So you get in there, you master that shit. And let me tell you what to do. This is how you're going to master it. And the majority of IT people don't do this. Whatever system they put you on, you find the manual of that system and you read it yourself. You take the time. You can do this shit on your own time if you want to. Say whatever OS you're going to be working like. Okay, let me give you an example. I'm going to give you an example for myself so you can really understand this. Okay, I was a VMware engineer. Okay, I was the designer. 1 second, NC Biggs. I see you back there. I was the designer. I created it. I created the environments from hardware to software, put VM, virtual machines, virtual servers, multiple vCenters, multiple. Okay. All right. Now, I remember one time I was trying to design the best way I was trying to do something. Okay. I don't want to go into too much detail. And so I went to a VMware conference. And I remember I started talking to all the high-level certified VMDX. This is what the highest people back then. And I was asking this particular question. I was like, hey, man, I'm trying to do this. They all said, nah, man, you can't do that. That's impossible. No, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. So I said, there is no way the VMware didn't design this to be able to do what I was trying to do. I went and took the time to read the manual, and I found the answer in there. I found the answer buried in the manual. So I take that answer, I go back, I emailed these VMDX guys that told me that it was impossible. I said, hey, man, I found the answer inside the manual. They were like, oh, man, I didn't know it wasn't there, because they didn't read it. This is no different. Let me make sure you guys understand the level of this, how this works. If you've ever played Monopoly, and most of us have, this is what I want you to ask. You can even ask yourself, have you ever read the rules on the Monopoly box yourself with your own eyes? And if you haven't, you got to be honest with yourself. And then if you haven't, I want you to go look the rules up and ask yourself, have you ever played according to the rules? Probably never, ever. That's what I mean. What's up, NC Biggs? What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, LJ? I wanted to tell you something. I wanted to give you a little story about what happened to me not long ago. So first off, just want to give you some backstory. I just wanted to tell you that I got my car. It got flooded. I took it down to. I did a job and I took it with me.
Your car got what?
Got flooded. It was pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
The engine went out. And so I was looking to try to figure out how I was going to get the engine fixed. And my job was acting like they didn't want to pay for it. I was like, they were acting like they didn't want to pay for it. So then I said, so I was like trying to find a rental. Now, I don't know if you know about the rental epidemic. I mean, not epidemic, but
I heard it's hard to rent a car. That's what I've been hearing.
Right. I said, so then I told, so you have to wait like 24 hours. Plus I can't rent a car because I have the bankruptcy on my name. So I have to get somebody else to rent it in order to do that. So
what does renting a car in bankruptcy got to do anything?
Because if you have like a bankruptcy, you can't rent a car with a debit card.
Oh, okay. So you don't have a credit card. Got it.
Right, exactly. Gotcha. So anyway, I went and bought I didn't buy. I went and loaned a Nissan Sentra. So I went and got a Nissan Sentra.
You did what?
This is going to be interesting.
What? What did you say? You got a loan on a Nissan?
I got a loan on a Nissan Sentra. Now you're gonna hear this conversation. I tried to look for cars. I've been trying to get people to take me to look at cars. It was almost impossible, like pulling teeth. So I went to a drive time company. They went and they were trying to get me to do all this stuff. I gave them $1,000 down. Now I'm gonna leave it at that for a minute and just hear your thoughts, and then I'm gonna tell you what the rest of the story is. Just give me your thoughts real quick.
There's nothing on earth would make me finance a car. Nothing.
So
I would have bought $1,000 car instead.
Right, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get anybody to take me to even look at a car. And then when I would, using an Uber or something like that, it'd be a pain because I'm using money I could be getting my car fixed. So I'm getting I went and did this. So while we're in the dealership,
your flooded car is fixable.
Yeah. But
how much does it cost to get fixed?
It costs $2,000. I already got that worked on.
But you put $1,000 on the car.
Right. So I'm gonna explain to you what I did. So me and my friend, we're in this drive time place, and they told me, they were like, well, if you buy this car and you have any problems with it or you just don't like it or whatever, you can return it within 5 days or 300 miles. So then I was like, hey man, can you get me a rental car? He was like, yeah, I can get you a rental car. I said, I know what I'm going to do. So I bought the car. I really loaned this car. I gave him $1,000 down. And as long as I don't go over the 300 miles, I get to give them the car back. Well, I gave them the car back yesterday. They were very sad. I got the $1,000 coming back to me, and they're very sad. I don't own the car. I didn't even loan it. I
You
temporarily
just told me you got a loan. Now you didn't really get.
I did get a loan. Technically, legally, I got a loan Saturday, but I returned the car Thursday.
Gotcha. So it's null and void.
Yeah, I don't have a loan, but I have to tell you this. I had to tell you this part because it was interesting just to see. I get to see your face, like, oh my God, what's going on? No, huh?
No, go ahead.
So I went to the place. I rented the car. I mean, I used the car. It's called Drive Time. They got a deal where you can use their car for 5 days, and if you have any problems or you just don't want the car, you can give it back to them. As long as you don't go over 300 miles, and if you go 300 miles, then it goes $1 per mile. So I was like, well, I'm not keeping this car. I can't. Like, bro, you don't understand. I was feeling like my knees were shaking when I was and I had to sign paperwork. And these people, they called me. The bank was calling me while I was at work, trying to have conversations with me. I was like, oh no.
You mean while you had the car, they were calling you?
Yeah, I had already signed the paperwork and everything. They're calling me. Trying to
what are they calling you saying? What are they saying?
They said they wanted to just go over a few things for information, and I never found out because I never called them back. And I said, "Yeah, I'm getting rid of the car anyway, so I'm not." I just couldn't do it.
I couldn't, honestly, man. I couldn't even put myself through that kind of stuff, man.
But I didn't, you know, with really no other form of transportation for the time being, I had no.
I get it, man. I mean, I mean, it would. I guess you would have to be under extreme circumstances, which it sounds like you are, and you did it, and it's legal, so it's cool. Shit, that's just extreme for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. People do different things under extreme circumstances, right?
Right.
And you did it legally, so ain't no big deal. But I'm just like, wow. I mean, so how long did you have the car for
Saturday to Thursday?
So you get to keep it as long as you don't go over 300.
Or I get to keep it for a week as long as I don't go over 300. A week and 300 miles.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But what did you hit? You probably didn't even hit 100, did you?
No, I hit about 130.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, if I go over that, then I just got to pay them back the money. They just take it out of the down payment money.
Oh yeah, and I bet you it's extreme too. Probably
no, it's $1. It's $1 a mile.
Oh.
So now I'm gonna tell you, when I went back to take the car back.
Yeah, I know they just let you drop it off and walk away.
My friend came up there first and told him, yeah, man, I don't know if he's gonna trade it in or what, man. He's coming up here. He said, yeah, man, they know you're coming. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I come up there and they're like, yeah, so what's going on, man? What's going on? I said, hey, man, I just got a lot of personal things. I just can't do it, man. I'm sorry. I got some personal things. I can't handle it. I just can't do the payments, man. And I got a car. I'm just gonna fix it.
How much were the payments?
Oh man, they do bi-weekly payments.
Bi-weekly payments?
Yes, but it's basically like think of it as one payment, but it's bi-weekly. Like you do. So
man. If that was the case, they would just make it one payment.
Right. So, but I'm saying like. Think of it as the price, like you're paying. No, you're right, because it could be. Sometimes it could have been the payment bi-weekly was $239.
You know why they're doing bi-weekly? Because the payment sounds smaller. They can split the monthly payment in half, but it sound like it's smaller, but it's the same.
But it's actually more.
And they probably charge a fee for each bi-weekly payment too.
Well, they do that of course they do that for the interest, and the interest rate, you know, because of my bankruptcy was like 20%. And I was like,
wanted you bad. Ooh, they wanted you bad.
And I said, nah. They said, oh, you can put, you know, like at Drive Time, you can, if you put down more money between the time 90 days after you, 90 days between the 90-day part, if you put more money down, the interest rate goes down more. But most people don't do it, so that's a
trick. That's a trick because you coming in making buy. First of all, you coming in finance a car. Worst of all if you finance a car with bi-weekly payments, they know you ain't got no money to pay down anything.
Right.
So they know that.
Right, but I mean, I had more money on me. I just didn't want to give it to him because
No,
I
I'm not
didn't have
talking about you. I'm talking about the average person that don't know.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm not staying in this car. I can't do it. Like, you know, I was at work, and people were talking to me, and they were like, "Hey, Daniel, they were like, "Hey, Daniel, can like, man, you should just keep the car, man. You don't even fix your old car, man." I was like, "Nah, I can't do it, man.
Right. All that debt
I'm
slave explaining.
I'm over here like sweating." I'm like, "Bro, you don't understand, man. I can't live this way, man. I can't live this way, man. I'm sorry." But so when I came in there and talked to them, they were like, "Man, come on, man. Well, you know, we got other cars, you know what I'm saying?" Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm definitely looking at third. I'll be back." He like, "You won't be back." I said, "Yeah, man, I'll be back, man. I'm not coming back."
But I couldn't be there. I'd be like, "You talking to me like that because you got student loan debt, huh? You got to get this sale, don't you? Yeah, you got. Yeah,
like,
you got to make your car payment. That's why you bugging me."
I was like, "Look, I gotta get out of here." I was like, so then of course I had to explain to the the seller, the person that sold me the car, he wanted to try to, you know, his effort in trying to keep me to get another
Yeah,
car.
you messing with his commission.
And then so I said, "Nah, sorry, man, I can't do it." And then literally my friend had the rental outside when I was doing that. So he had my rental ready. So I was leaving with the rental. So I wasn't staying with that car. And then so I left them, and yeah, they're gonna give me my money back. So it's
How long they gonna take though? How long take?
oh, you know they're gonna try to take.
They're gonna make some interest off that money.
7 days, man. 7 days.
They're gonna get 7 days of interest off that 1,000.
Yeah.
Hey, it's just business, man.
I'm not mad about it. At least, I mean, I got to drive the car for free for.
Drive time is clearly for debt slaves. Okay, you can tell by the commercials. I mean, all you gotta do is pay attention to commercial, and then you'll know exactly who they're talking to.
Yeah,
debt slaves.
I just couldn't do it, man. Like I was just like, man, I was like, I understand, people do what they got to do when they're in a bad situation, but
I wouldn't even want them catching me in my face on their cameras walking on their lot. I wouldn't even want. That looks like LJ. No, hell no. You gotta race that. No, I was using the sidewalk, and you guys caught me walking.
He's on the sidewalk. No, but I mean, so I just couldn't do it, man. Like it was crazy. Like, I mean, people were like, "Man, you got a good car, man. Why you gonna give that car up, man?" I was like, "Man," and then my car, how much it's gonna cost to fix my car is gonna be. It's gonna be $1,400 for the engine, because the engine got flooded, so I had to get a new engine. And then it's gonna be, and then labor is gonna be like, I think $900. So it's like.
Where did you go for your car to get flooded? Where'd you go?
I was in Wilmington, and it was raining really hard, and I should have left. I didn't make a good decision. I shouldn't have listened to my manager. She just left. I didn't leave, and if it got flooded down there, and I was trying to drive through the water, it didn't work out for me. So that's my fault on that part.
Right.
But
I see videos of people like you all the time.
Yeah, but here's the funny part. Here's the best part though, because of the situation, like because they put me in that kind of situation. I told them, I said, "Hey man, y'all put me in the situation because I told her I wanted to leave, and everything. They're gonna give me the money back." So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so I ain't even lose. So basically, the car's getting fixed by them. So
just your time, your time irritation, but that's good. That plus you're safe. Shit, you didn't drown,
Nah, I wasn't gonna drown. It wasn't that deep, but
okay.
Yeah, it was just tire level.
Mm-hmm.
But I just figured I'd let you know that little story, man.
That is funny. I didn't know where the story was going. I was about to be highly upset.
Yeah, look, you sounded like I was waiting for you to get upset, man. I was trying to get you upset first, but you didn't get upset.
No, I said, let me hear the full story before I go crazy.
because I should have just stopped at, "Hey man, I bought a car, man."
I would have said, "What do you mean bought?"
I loaned a car. It was I had to do this, I should have just said something like but anyway, man, no, I just wanted to I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't be in no debt. No way. So I like I said, I was looking like every option within a week's time, trying to figure out how I was going to fix the problem. And I found a mechanic that could fix my car for you know, the amount of money I had on me.
I couldn't even imagine paying on a car for 7 years. That is just bananas to me. 7 years of payments? Oh, hell no. I've been seeing a lot of Cadillac Escalades with stickers. You know, I've been seeing a lot of paper stickers lately. Like everybody's buying cars in cash or something, you know?
Yeah. Okay, well, little LJ, my kids is gonna have me.
All right, man.
My face, but I wanted to tell you that story, man. Just take it
I
easy.
appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
Thanks.
No
I love those stories, man. He almost got me there. I was like, uh-oh. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. I thought he's like, man, I just had to, man. You know, I can't find a car. Nobody was selling at this price because debt slaves used to come up with those excuses to come up with to buy a new car. Oh man, my old car ain't worth this. It's gonna cost me $2,000 for that, man, and it wasn't even worth that. So I wouldn't finance the $40,000 car. Yeah, because you know I couldn't risk that. You know, they didn't make the cars not safe. They always use this too. The car ain't safe. They make the new cars are the safest. Every new car is safer than the last one according to the commercials. So what they stopped making safe cars in what, in the 80s and 90s? When they stopped making safe cars? Because think about it, man. If you guys are financing phones, you forget about buying a new car in cash. You guys can forget about that. Forget about that. If you can't afford to buy a brand new iPhone in cash, I know for a fact you're making car payments. Guaranteed you're making car payments. Guaranteed. And you always have, like, this is so funny, man. I posted this in the community, man. T-Mobile got this new forever plan. Oh my God. Man, debt slaves, they be doing you guys so dirty. Hey, get on this plan. You can upgrade every single year forever. Every single 2 years or whatever they plan. Forever, like forever a debt slave. You're going to be forever making payments, caught in that payment loop. And Apple has made their phone so good. Like this is what I used to think. I used to think to myself, why do Apple always keep changing the camera lenses around? They make something big and small, make them a 4-pack, a 2-pack, or whatever, right? That's to let the other slaves know, because once they put a cover on it, you can't really tell the model of the person's phone. You don't know what kind of iPhone that's like. I bet you Apple was like, okay, we got to change that, man. We got to make sure all the debt slaves that finance iPhones, we got to make sure they know when another person has the latest phone. We'll change the camera lenses around. So now when you see a person's camera lens, the iPhone users, they'll know the model of the phone that the person has. Fucking brilliant, Apple. You guys are brilliant, man. Learn from the big boys. What's up, Andre? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can. A little bit of clicking. You got to be still. I don't know if you're moving or not.
Yeah, I was moving the thing.
All right.
Yeah, I'm having a problem with live chats, man. I can't comment on live chats. I'm like, what's going on? But anyway, I just wanted to say hi and, stuff, appreciate what you're doing and everything. Love to see your show.
Appreciate it.
So you get a lot of good information. Like you say, I got to get I want you to get that, the I see debt people cap. So like I say, told you I'm about to put in this 2-week notice. So
I
want to wear that around.
How you feeling
man.
about that? How you feeling about that?
I'm feeling good, man.
Is it got you nervous, or what you thinking?
No, man, because the job I'm on, because I just started this first job, but I'm gonna go on this next one because the first job I got is paying it's getting a $3,000 bonus after 30 days is give you $1,000. I'm trying to stretch out to that 30 days so I can get that stat before I go to the next job. So
now, how long you been at this current job?
It'll be a week.
What?
But the next job, I'm still waiting. Yeah, because the next job I just got is paying $1 more. But I'm still waiting to hear back. So they told me
the job that you're about to give a 2-week notice to. How long you been at that job?
Oh, I ain't a week.
And you gonna give them a 2-week notice?
Oh yeah, because this next job is paying $1 more, and it's better and it's less strenuous.
No, I'm just saying that's just weird. You only been at the job for a week. They're gonna wait. They're gonna let you give a 2-week notice. That's just I don't know. That sounds funny to me. That's
Yeah,
all.
oh, I know. Well, I'm not gonna give it. I was just saying it. I'm not gonna give a 2 week notice, but
Oh,
because it
okay.
don't make sense. I just saying it.
No,
Hypothetically.
I thought you was
But
about to do. I thought you about to give a 2-week notice on like a 20-year job or something like
no,
that.
no, no. I just type it. But I'm gonna leave. But I'm gonna be wearing that. I see dead people, so see people to see what I'm. Can ask me questions about it.
Oh, you got a hat on. They most definitely will be asking you about that for sure. I hope you're ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You
man.
gonna be ready
And
for
I'm
the
gonna wait.
questions?
What's that?
When you wear that hat, they're gonna be
Oh
asking you
yeah.
some
Oh yeah.
questions.
Oh yeah. Because I'm
Okay.
gonna, I'm gonna say I'm gonna just give them your website, man. I'm gonna just give them your channel. I say all your questions will be answered right there.
Every single one right here. Just
Mhm.
go there and be like,
So
what?
yeah, because it's crazy, man. Like you said, it got to the point where I was just listening where you talk about the bi-weekly condo. Man, they finding all kind of ways to get that
Man,
money out you, man.
man, bi-weekly payments. It's like, oh, so it sounds smaller because if they break them up into it's, hey man, it's only $200 by month, bi-weekly.
Man, I'm telling you, back in the day when I was a slave, that would sounded great. I would have been going around, man. You can afford that car. You can pay bi-weekly. You can pay
Yeah,
50. You can pay $50 a week. You can
sure
afford it.
can. I mean, if you once you out of the debt matrix, you see how they do it. All they
Mhm.
got to do is figure out how to make the payment sound smaller without lying, right?
And,
Because it could
and
be $550 a month, but if they break that, oh man, bi-weekly is only $275. That's nothing, you
yeah,
know?
but you ain't doing the math because I remember the first time I actually did the math when I saw how much money they was getting, and this was on a mortgage I had. I
Right,
was like, oh hell, no, 30 years. I was like, I'm paying almost double from
right.
what I bought the house for. I'm like, oh hell no.
But you know what
Yeah,
they say? This is what the debt slaves always say. If you tell them that, you're like, hey man, if you finance that house for 30 years, man, you're gonna be paying almost double. Oh man, I don't plan on paying it for 30 years. I'm gonna pay it
right.
off way earlier than that. Sure, you are a debt slave.
And
Sure.
most people I heard say that like within 5 years and stuff, they done lost it and not
Correct.
been left. They done lost it.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that.
They already know that's the standard answer. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure they tell that and they say the same because I remember when I used to finance cars, they
Hmm.
used to say the same thing to me. They say, hey man, you could stretch this out 7 years, man, and you don't really have to go that long. You could pay it off way before then, but just in case you got nice small payments that you can manage until I was like, I fell for it too. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'll do. Yeah, let's go 7 years. Yeah.
That's what happened. I want the part I didn't go about getting used cars because I had a hard time finding mechanics I can trust or good mechanics. If I would have been able
Right.
to find a mechanic that I could trust, oh yeah, man, please, I wouldn't have never bought no car. I mean, my first cars I got,
Right.
my first two cars they were they were used cars. They was like 10+ years old, but
Right.
man, it was like paying the car note 'cause like about 2 months after I get them, they start acting up. I'm paying $200 here and that $300 here. I was paying a car note, so I was like, my thought in my mind, well, I might as well go pay a note because at least I know the car gonna start up.
Right.
But
Yeah,
no,
and you're right. You know what I go by because you can't really. I go and look at the shop, right?
uh
And I found that when I go to auto repair places, that their business is well taken care of. They're not all looking oily and grimy, and usually 9 times out of 10, that's a good shop to take it to because obviously they respect their business,
right,
right?
right,
You
yeah,
come in there, you see tools all over the place, and
yeah.
you could tell the people that work there don't really want to be working there, and they're smoking
Right,
cigarettes in the back and shirts
right.
all untucked and look at it. Just nah, I'm good.
And that's what I was going at in the hood. I wanted to be frugal when it comes to stuff like that, but not with big purchases and stuff like that. So I would be
Right,
like, man, I don't want to pay all this money to them. I'll be going out there trying to find old Pookie and Ray Ray, the ones out there doing
right,
the street mechanics that
right,
So,
right. And even and unfortunately, there's probably some really good street mechanics
oh
out
yeah,
there,
they are. I just haven't
but
been able to find them.
they're hard to. They're getting mixed all up in with the bad ones, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's unfortunate. That's really
yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Or like with Mantra, I find somebody reasonable that's good. They'll do a good job the first time. Then the second time you have them do your brakes and then your brakes all jacked up. You're like, what the hell?
Well, see, that's one good thing about being debt free. And if you can go to a shop, all you got to do is kind of listen to where they talk. I just pay attention to that. You can tell an in debt business owner versus a business owner that's taking pride in his business. You can tell by the way they speak to you. You can tell by the customer service. It's important, right? It's because it's the language, really.
Right. Yeah, because I'll go back and bring your customers as long as you're straight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I found one in luck. I mean, I got lucky. I consider myself lucky. I found a good one here. So whenever my truck breaks down, I just bring it off. I mean, they get on it ASAP too. Because I'd be cool, man. Oh, you need it for a couple days? Good. They be calling me back the next day. Hey, it's ready. I'm like, damn. Okay.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, now I got to go to the bank. I got to pull out the money, and
right.
So, but they do good work. So I'm cool. I don't mind paying what they charge.
Yeah, and I thought I'm gonna tell you something, man. I thought I was telling people, man, y'all need to get on the game because I was going to CarMax like 10 years ago. Man, y'all need to get, because I'm thinking I'm getting used cars. So instead of paying 25,000 for this car, I'm paying only 17, 18. So I'm doing better. Y'all stupid. I'll never buy a brand new car again. You got to be moved as soon as you drive it off the lot. It's used. I'm thinking I'm getting over.
Right. You ain't
and
getting over on nothing but yourself.
Because I was telling everybody I'm still buying this car.
And so crazy, man. When I see CarMax lots, man, they be looking like football fields.
Yes.
I'll be like, they are making some bread.
Yeah, one of my church partners, who was that? Us, right?
They're catering to people who finance cars with bad credit.
Right. Because, man, I had a dude, this guy, when he started working at my church, when he started working about a year after he was working at CarMax, man, he was coming up. He was buying. So he said, man, I'm killing up in here. I'm making money. So, yeah, he was doing it.
Oh, yeah. That's a good place, man. CarMax, they're into the correct. I mean, you could tell by the size of the car lots. I mean, but this is what's cool about CarMax, right? They cater to the people that are in debt, people, just bad, if you finance and it's 20-something%, you got bad credit, right?
Right.
But you see the car lots, they're clean. Car lots are organized. I mean, they got it looking damn near like you going to a brand, like a GMC or a Lexus parking lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A Mercedes-Benz. The CarMax lots are clean. I like that.
Even their cars, like the last car I bought from them.
Yeah, they got some clean cars there.
It was 6 months. It was $5,000 off. I mean, less than the retail price. It was 6 months old. Only had 5,000 miles on. That's what I mean. But and it still had the new car smell in it.
Yeah,
that's what I like about
them. They got good
them.
cars, but they cater to people in debt.
Right. You see why I went there, right? See why I was there. Shoot. So, but them days are over with.
If you go to a place and they're giving you bi-weekly payments, you know exactly who they're talking to. Debt slaves.
That's good. And I didn't even know that. I'll be thinking maybe I could have to go to one of those, those rundown used car lots, in the hood. But I guess they talking about these are major car dealers that are giving you bi-weekly. Is that what he means?
I mean, he said it was a drive time.
Drive time.
Drive time.
Man, from what I seen about this was about 5 years ago. But about their cars, they be some raggedy rundown cars. So I don't know.
I mean, but you got to remember, if you talking to them by default, if you're talking to them about financing a car, you automatically know you're in credit trouble. You already know.
Because one thing I found out about that, I started learning about what you saying. My father-in-law, man, because he retired from UPS, did real good in stock. My mother-in-law was telling the story how when they moved back down to Missouri, he went in the lot with a check. He bought 2 cars. He bought an old conversion van. He bought his wife a car, and he said, "Here, take this. This how much I'm paying for it. Take it or leave it." And walked out the door. I'll be back in a couple of hours with my cars. I was like, damn.
Yeah, because they don't want nobody. I mean, CarMax wouldn't be as big as they are if people were paying cash for cars, right?
Well, I guess you're right.
They wouldn't be that big, but I mean, when I see those car lot sizes, I don't be hating. I just be like, congratulations, CarMax. Congratulations. Yeah. You guys are making big bread. I remember one time I wanted to see. I ain't told too many people this. One time I drove up to a CarMax car lot and I walked in. Because I wanted to see how they're doing it, right?
Right.
So I walk in, you don't get past the door. Somebody's there to greet you right after.
Man, they be outside. Well, I'm living in Chicago, but if it ain't cold, they be out the door. Right. They be right outside. Wait, they be like, hey, you can't even get in there. She almost damn near by the parking lot of the car, but
I
they'll
walked in
start walking
there.
toward you.
They were all over me. Hey, sir, what are you here
Yeah.
looking for? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. I said, I'm just looking at it. Kind of threw them off. It kind of threw them off, like, because they always hear people come in and say, oh, I'm just looking, but they don't know what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a car. I just want to look, see how you guys are doing it.
Right.
But
Right.
even the people there, they were confused. They were like, what do you mean you're here looking? You don't want a car? No, I said, I'm out of here at
Oh,
5.
when you said no, I've been like, what the hell you in here for then?
Yeah,
Huh?
what the hell you in here for? I'm like, you don't know. You're never gonna know either. See ya.
I heard that,
I should
man.
have stepped in there and said, congratulations, CarMax, and just left.
Because they still, like you said, these desolate, these sleep out here, we just don't know, boy. But and like you said, the harder you try to tell people, the worse it get. The more I try to tell people I was going to, and they get mad and angry, I guess, because it make them. But I learned this: people get angry because it makes them feel bad and feel stupid, so they can't
Correct.
get mad at nobody else, so they get mad at you.
Correct.
They take it out on you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, because I know you're not really mad at me, you're mad at yourself, but you're
Correct.
gonna take it out on me. So I'm like, it's
Correct.
okay.
Yeah, they always come up. Oh, you think you're better than me, and they come up with all these things, and they don't know that they're making themselves mad because they can't do it, or they think they can't do it.
Right.
Anybody
So
can do it. You just got to apply yourself.
yeah, anybody, but and you got like you say, you got to believe it first, and gotta accept it.
Well, the
You know what I
hardest
mean?
part is taking the red pill, understanding that you're a debt
Yes,
slave. You got
yeah.
to first you got to realize that you're a debt slave. You know how hard that is? That's step one.
Man, I told you when you told me, you pissed me off when you told me, man. Say you made me piss me. You made me say it. Now say it. I'm like, what? You say now say it. That remind me of that movie. I remember that movie, Total Recall, when he made old boy. He told him take the pill. He said now swallow it. That's
Oh, that's
basically
way
what you was
back. I
telling.
love that movie though. I remember Total Recall. I love that
Right,
movie.
and that's basically how you made me feel when you said now. Basically, you were telling me now swallow it.
I
But once
know,
I swallowed it, well, now,
to say that because you're like, I'm about to say it because he told me to say it, but you have to say it, right?
yeah, because I
That's
had to say, wow.
that's
Once I
what it is.
said it, I was pissed off and stuff for a minute, but then I said, wait a minute, he right though, because you got to accept that, and then once you accept that, then you start, waking
Right.
up, and it's just like Neo when he woke up with all them tubes on the bed. What the hell? Where the hell am I at?
Right.
And so I
I mean,
appreciate you, man. Oh, go ahead.
it took a lot for you to realize, but wait a minute, he's right. That's the switch right there.
Right.
Because you have to accept it. Once you accept it, you're like, okay, now you're on your way.
Right. Doing like you said, bottom line, doing the math, because you said the debt I'm in and take it away, even though I took out the debt. After that, I was still $7,000 in debt. So you said, man, do bottom line, do the math.
Do the math. That's it.
Yeah.
People, and that's why I do this, man, because when I tell people my gift, I know they don't understand what I'm saying. When I say,
Right.
hey man, I have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically, they just give me this blank stare because
They have
don't
no
know.
idea I wouldn't if you'd have said that to me like that, I had no idea what you was talking about. I would be like, what the hell?
See, and that's what I love about, that's why I love saying, sometimes when I write in the community, with you guys that understand what I'm saying, I want you guys to realize they don't understand what I'm saying. They can't, they can read it. They won't understand. They can listen to me on the mic and they still won't get it. That's how powerful it is. That's why I love it.
Right.
I mean, literally.
And it's when you look at it, it's so simple, but that it's like this wall it's like it's got this barrier this invisible barrier that's held up. It's like it's so thin, but you can't get it's hard to get to the other side.
That's
but
the
it's so
matrix.
simple.
That's the debt matrix, man.
Man, it's simple math. Just do the math.
They don't know to reach out and see that wall is not real. Their hand will go right through it. They be like, hey, wait a minute. Hey, what the? You mean math could allow my hand to go through this wall? Yeah, go through this.
Just simple math would allow your hand, but without that, yeah.
See, they don't know that they went through the first wall, right? They go, wait a minute. You mean I can buy a car with no money? The bank says, yeah, you sure can.
Yeah. Man, I told people I was boss of dope people. Man, I ain't had to put no money down.
Right.
Man, that was the best feeling in the world. I'm thinking
my credit's so good I have to put no money down. Yeah, that's in the debt matrix. See how you can buy a car with no money? See? Congratulations.
But like you said, the what you call it, the interest rate and stuff is still high. It's higher than what you would if you'd put something down.
I mean, don't even worry about the interest rate. Don't even worry about that. The bank says you can buy a house with no money. You sure can.
Yeah.
You sure can. Can I be a homeowner without any money of my own? The bank says, yes,
Yes,
you
you
can, right?
can.
Anything's possible in the debt matrix. Welcome.
And that's true. Oh man, it's just
Anything's possible. You can be a business owner. You can own the finest cars. You can own the best houses, the best vacations.
yeah.
Anything's possible in the
Man,
debt
don't tell
matrix.
me about vacation spots. See, the first time I went, me and my wife's cousin got married. Her husband from Jamaica. We went to Jamaica. I'm thinking I'm all good, but came back home. That man, now I got to do all this overtime. It's gonna take me about a month to make up this overtime, make up for this trip.
Still paying for a year on 1 week vacation.
Ain't that on a 1 week vacation, 5 days?
5 days. You paying on that vacation? What, about a year, 2 years?
Yeah, about it. I mean, when I actually got the money back to do it, when I actually got the money, all the money
Right.
back that it took, about a year.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
in the debt matrix. The debt matrix says you can go to Jamaica with no money.
Oh yeah, and that's because as long as I got these, especially I got this class, man, white man, we had just given a wife, we had just got, and this is a crazy part. That's what I learned about this to be slick, how they be doing. We had a $2,000 Home Depot card, right? So
Sweet.
about a year or so later, maybe 2 years later, we go in there and we was getting a grill, and so when they saw they would had the thing where you could fill out to upgrade your credit card, to put more money on it, and they said, man, I see you getting a grill, huh? And I'm from Chicago, so they had a Bears cover, the Chicago
Oh,
Bears cover you put on the grill. They
reeled
say,
your
man,
ass right in, didn't
yeah,
it?
right. They say you can upgrade, and get higher on us if you just fill us out. So we filled it out. Man, that sucker. We got the grill, so I'm thinking I'm just getting a regular Home Depot card, with more money on it. I said, I think it'll go from 2,000 to 5,000. Man,
Uh-huh.
that sucker was a Visa card, and it was $15,000 on it. I
And
was
you
so
met.
scared of that. I didn't use. I was so
Oh,
scared of that card. That card stayed in the drawer. We found out about 2 years later. We called them and said, "Oh, we closed out your card a year and a half ago, Mr. Lewis."
because you didn't use it.
No, I didn't use. We said we was
Right.
like, man, I don't want to. But
Right.
I'm
Try
glad
to
we did.
trap your ass in there. Woo.
Yeah, because I was scared. I was the first thing I got mad at my. I'm saying, how many points? How many points they took on my credit score for this $15,000 card? I never got the high card. That's the first thing came to my mind.
Ain't that crazy? Worried about the wrong things.
Worried about the wrong things, right?
Wrong thing. Credit score. Because you got to remember, that's all they care about is credit score. Now,
Right.
I don't know how I mean, I do know because I was in the debt matrix. I just
Mhm.
remember growing up and everybody around me told me you ain't nothing without a credit score. I mean, you're taught that at 18.
Right. Exactly.
Too bad 18-year-olds don't know that they're free at that moment. They don't realize that they're free. They could stay that way for the rest of their lives if they just listen to the right people.
I wish I had known, man. When I was in the service down south, they see, oh, you the military? They was giving you these cards left and right.
Oh yeah. Man, if I wish so, I mean, it would be so nice if I was 18 and I came across me. Said,
Right,
hey,
that's what
by
I
the way,
said.
let me show you something. You're
Right.
free right now. And this is how I'm gonna show you to stay that way for the rest of your life. That would have been amazing, man. My whole life would have been just totally different.
I hear you. That's one thing I thank God I never went to college enough, so I don't have any debt. I don't have any college debt. I thank God for that.
Man. Oh, good move,
At
man.
least I don't have that.
Good move. That's a good, because you got to remember when I was young, man, they was pushing college down my throat. I mean,
Man,
thank God I didn't go right after high school. I'm glad. They tried to make me feel bad about not going right. I was like,
my church too.
I was
My
like,
church
I
made
just
me
ain't
feel
ready.
bad about
I
going
said to
to church.
myself, I ain't ready.
I mean, going
I'm
to
not
college.
doing it. I ain't ready.
I went to school. That's a long story, but my stepfather got me made me hate school for what he did to me back when I was about 10 years old on a test. Made me sit at a table for 2 weeks straight because I failed the math test. And right after then, him and my mama got into it. We left him and moved, but ever since then, I was like, I hate school. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. So anyway, I knew I was joining the people go to college. My church, you going to college? Hell no. I mean, I ain't say hell no, but no, I ain't going to college. And they made me feel low, like looking down on me. And I like, man, I'm going to the service. I'm cool because my plan was already to go to the service. But anyway, man, thank God I didn't do it, man, because all the people, they still people I know, and now I'm 54. This back when I was 18 and stuff. Them people still got they still got
Student
college
debt.
debt. Student debt. Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do at 18. I didn't care what everybody else around me said. I just, because I did what the majority of 18-year-olds don't know. They don't know the majority of the people that are telling them to go to college, they got student loan debt.
Right.
They ain't telling their kids that part. Oh, yeah, by the way, I still got my student loan debt and it's older than you.
Yeah. Because back then, we was you'll be the first one in the family to go to college. They thought you really
Right.
if you go to college, you
That's the TV program. Have you
right.
noticed that? That's what they do on TV. Oh, you want to be the first to graduate from college. Okay, who's
Right.
paying for it?
Right. Right. So I
Yeah,
mean, they
man, I
really
remember
looked down.
that.
Everybody looked down. I mean, after that, when they knew I was serious and not about going, they look. I mean, it's like they shunned me, man.
Right.
I mean, I was
Right.
like, what the world? Because
Right.
it was like I was like, Lord, and you disgusted with me.
Correct. If you didn't have a college education, right? And I went around. I started going to college around 27, 28. So I was a little more mature because I knew what I was going to do. I knew exactly I was going to be a computer engineer. So I knew exactly my direction. At 18, I didn't know nothing.
Right. Me neither. I didn't know till I joined the service that I liked the medical field. I didn't even know I could learn. I didn't think I could really learn until I got into because in the military, man, they cram stuff. You in school 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You in 8 hours. Everything you did, you learned on that 8 hours. You know that you was in class for that 8 hours. That night you got to go study it. You go there next morning, you have a test on it. Then bam, you doing another subject. And it was like that for 3 months. Like you said, if you can get through that, you can get through anything. But when I went there, I was going in. I went to the military, so I wouldn't have to go to school. I was in school almost a whole year before I got to my first duty station.
Wow.
So yeah, man, because so much I had to learn. But yeah, man. So yeah, but I think, and the reason I didn't get into debt, and stuff like that, going to school, coming home, because I knew in the state of Illinois, if you get an honorable discharge, you get to go to school free. So I always knew no matter what, I'm not going. I wouldn't get into I wouldn't have to pay for school. So that's, like I said, that helped me out. So I thank God. I ain't got no school debt.
And believe it or not, by holding true to yourself, you're not in debt like the majority of these people. They wish, and they ain't gonna never tell you. The majority of people with college education, they are not going to tell you that they wish they would have made a different decision.
Okay. I just found out about 2-3 years ago that this college debt was so much out there. I thought it was just a few people. I didn't know. I'm thinking just like maybe like black folks from the hood.
They always try to put a color on it. Ain't got nothing to do with color. Nothing.
Right. I realize it don't have nothing to do with it. So
they
I'm
do.
like,
anybody you hear talk about finances and they put color in it, you just better stop listening to them because they got nothing to do with that. Nothing.
Right. I just said that's what I never heard it like it, but that's what I assumed when I first heard about it. So I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was that much of college debt out there.
Though it's about to explode. People, it's going on in the background. People don't know. A lot of people got out of work and they think college is the answer. Have you noticed how many college online colleges are popping up on TV now?
Yeah. I
mean, join Sesame Street University. Join this. It's like
right.
I mean, this is accredited. Do you think debt slaves know what accredited mean? Oh, that must mean good. Okay, well, let me just try it. And then they put a picture of them showing the family and everybody at the graduation and showing the first person to graduate college, whatever they need to do. I guarantee you, I think somebody just put the latest statistic of student loan debt. It's like 1.8 trillion now. Something like that.
It's a trillion. It's at a trillion.
Trillion.
And I'm surprised I'm not a part of it. I'm surprised I'm not a part of it.
And I want you to really think about that, okay? Really understand what that means to not be part of that nonsense.
Right.
So you can know the position you're in, because this is what you got to start thinking about: phantom income, okay?
Income?
Whatever the majority is paying that you're not, that's phantom income.
Oh, I see. Now I understand what you're saying.
Saying?
Yeah, I understand now. Yeah.
Say like this. Say like somebody's student loan payment, I'm gonna keep it simple, was $500 a month. Okay, that's $6,000 a year. I'm not even including the interest. That's $6,000 a year. Now you make $6,000 more per year than them.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But they don't know that.
That's great.
See what I'm saying?
And that makes me feel good now. I mean,
that's how you gotta look at it. Same as car payments. So whenever I look at, you look up, hey, what's the, sometimes I'll just look, hey, what's the average car payment now? I think it's like around 600, and the average length of a thing is like 60 months, 72 months, some crazy number, and whatever adds that up, that's how much money I'm making more than them now.
Because just to get a SUV with just basic stuff on it is gonna cost you like $6+ a month.
Oh, the cars are going out. They're getting outrageously priced. Their slaves are going to be locked into car payments for their entire life. and they get trapped in that circle, like to where, you know, here's the circle that the majority of them don't know that we can see that they're trapped in. When they owe more on the car than what it's worth, now they're constantly trading in cars because they would have to buy themselves out of it, which they have no money to buy themselves out of it. So now they're trapped in the loop. So to the outside world, it looks like this person has money because they keep getting a new car every 3-4 years, right? But what it really means is that they can't get out. That's why they keep getting new cars.
Okay. And it's got to be new because it's crazy. I started telling people this about 3-4 years ago. Man, don't you know you can go out there and you can have about $5,000, $7,000 at the most. You can go find a car that's 10 years old, go out to them suburbs where them people that all they did was go grocery shopping and go to church.
Yeah.
The car 10 years old might have about 2,000-3,000 miles on it, and then you can just pay your cash on it, and the car's paid for. And it's a nice vehicle. And the only thing is 10 years old, but it's nice. They kept the the oil changes, everything. Everything was kept up. Man, I don't want nobody else's headache. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, they always, you know what that really is? This is what they're really saying, because they always say this too. Debt slaves always say this. What they're really saying is because they ain't got no money to pay a car in cash. But they always say this. Oh man, what am I gonna get, a bucket? They always say that.
And I just explained to you that it's a car kept up, garage kept. The only thing they did, because the senior citizen, the only thing they did was go to the grocery store or go to church and came back home. You can find those kind of cars and get a good deal for them because either the person done died or they done had a stroke, or they can't drive no more. So the family is just trying to get extra money and the car is just sitting there. I don't want that headache.
And I was just thinking about this too, man. I said to all people that are mechanics, I strongly suggest you become a mobile mechanic, because if you have the ability to say, like, somebody's going to buy a car, right? But they want to get it checked out because they don't really, you got to remember, they always say, hey man, before you buy a car, go get it checked out. Well, a lot of people ain't gonna just let you take their car to go get it checked out. They're just not gonna do it, right? If somebody becomes a mobile mechanic that has the ability to check out cars on inspection, just to say if this is a good car, a bad car, you know how much money you would make on that?
A lot of money.
A lot of money. You be on call, hey man, I need these cars checked out to see if they're good to buy. They can come to you. The person doesn't have to leave. They can come to the person's house. They don't have to let somebody take their car to a mechanic. All that's bread.
Right.
Man.
Just meet you there. Just paying to meet you there, and it's all good. Yep.
And right away, you'll see immediately if that's a good car or not, because if you tell the person that you're about to buy a car from, hey, I got my mobile mechanic coming on the way to check it out. If he or she starts tripping, that means that's not the car you wanted to buy.
Exactly.
Because if you take care of your car and somebody said, hey man, we're gonna have a mobile mechanic come check it out, I'll be like, cool, okay, what time they're gonna be here?
Right. Yeah. And that's a good thing too, because you can pay, like if they got the price at a certain price, but then they say, well, I need new tires, need this, you can get it lower and cheaper because you can deduct that from the price.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Have that mobile mechanic come and just take a look at that. All right, cool. You know,
and that's a good business to have, man. Because people got all these, like DoorDash and stuff and things like that. That's how all they started. It'd be nice. Just say, hey, you got get certified. Just prove you certified mechanic. All you got to do is we'll pay you. Just go out and just go to somebody, make an appointment to go somebody to look at a car with somebody. Yeah, that's a multi-million-dollar business.
You know what? And this is a story. This would happen to me about a couple years ago with my girlfriend's car, right? She got a little Ford Escort 2012, right? And it was leaking water. Something was leaking, some hoses or something, right?
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go to the dealership and just get it done, right? And when I went to the dealership, they had this little side place. It was Quick something. It was called Quick something. They worked with the dealership or something. I was like, okay, yeah, they do our repair work over there. I was like, okay, whatever, right? So I took it over there because your name's on it. I'm assuming you're going to have your name on it. I'm assuming that it's going to be good, right? So I take it over there. They say, oh yeah, you got a hose leak. And by the way, your radiator fans don't work. I was like, oh wait. I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They're working fine before I got there. Now they don't work. And so he said, here, I'll show you, right? Pop the hood, start the car, and then I'm running. And I was like, oh, okay. But little did I know, it takes a minute before they kick in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But when you're not in debt, so this is what I did. I had AAA, right? So I said, I'll tell you what. And they gave me some ridiculous quote to replace the fan. I said, I'll tell you what. fix the part I need you to fix, and then I'm gonna have that car towed out.
Mm.
And they were like, what? Yeah, I said, I'm gonna have to. I towed it to another dealership and had it tested. Guess what? Nothing was wrong with the fans.
Yeah, Lord.
So this is what I did. So I took and I made sure I went to another dealership. Okay. So I went to the dealership. They said, nothing's wrong with your fans. And I said, can you print that out for me and tell?
Right.
They said, yeah, here you go. I went back to the other place that said something was wrong with my fan. I said, can I speak to the manager? He said, yeah. I said, you guys told me that the fans didn't work, and I went to this other dealership. Here's the piece of paper, so they knew I wasn't just talking shit. I put the paper down there. I said, hey, look, the fans work. They were looking at me like, well, I was like, well, what? Obviously something's wrong here. Either you gotta, I didn't say this to them. I was like, okay, what are you guys gonna do about it?
Right.
They didn't do shit.
Mm.
So you know what I did? I went up, found the website, went on their Facebook, and then I typed out this long message. Hey, don't use these guys. This is what happened. I got receipts to prove everything, and I put all that information up there. A couple of people reached out to me and said, hey man, thank you for putting that up there.
They remind me
of bullshit, man.
Yeah, they crazy. Some of them crazy. They remind me of the time I went to I had got my first brand new car. It was a neon what's those little cars? A neon
neon. I know what you're talking about. I know.
Yeah, one of them. Man, I went and I had to get some brakes on it. The first time I needed brakes, I go to Goodyear of all places because first, because my first brand new car. I wanted to take it in and get it fixed right. Man, I go in there. He told me, man, you need you gotta get one whole brake replaced on the right side, and that's gonna. And then there was something else he was saying wrong with it, something else wrong, but it was just on this one right side, the driver's side of the car. He said it's gonna come to $750. I said, what? Man, I ain't got no $750. So I left. I go to work, and then this guy at work, he gave me this. He said he cut out this paper with a discount for brakes at this shop in the hood. It was a shop called AAA. I still go there now, brake shop. So I go there, and so when they go, they go in there and check it out. I say I need brakes done. See how much you charge. I just want to get estimate. He said, okay. When they come back, okay, sir, it's not only the front, you need the backs done too. I said, oh my God. I'm thinking, if it's gonna cost me $750, how much is it gonna cost? He said, well, we'll do all brakes for $250. I'm like, what the hell, man? Because Goodyear printed out the list they gave, because I told them to print out what I need to be done. They print out. I gave it to them. The dude and these were Hispanic guys, the Hispanic shop, brake shop. He looked at this stuff. He said, man, they need to go to jail for this. I was like, man. Now, Matt, if I would have had the money or had the credit card to do it, I would have put it on there. Just going by what Goodyear said.
Well, when I told those guys I was towing this car out, they were shocked. Because I know me doing that, I know they had never had nobody do that before. Say, hey,
they weren't used to that. They used to people ain't got no. They used people go ahead.
You gonna do what? I said, yeah, I'm gonna have it towed out.
Yeah, because they ain't used to that.
Nope. And I said, I'm gonna follow through with this. And when I came back, I thought for sure. So I didn't even stop. Okay, I talked to the manager at the place, right? I said, okay, let me go to the manager of the dealership. Because the dealership they represent the dealership because the dealership sending cars to them. So I said, I go to the manager of the dealership. I said, hey, check this out. I want to show you something. I don't know if you know. I said, look, this is what happened. Here's the proof. They didn't do nothing.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked because they usually don't.
I mean, with the proof in hand, hey, they told me something because to fix that was like $500 something extra on top of the original fix. Excuse me. And I was like, wow, I wonder how many people you guys do because they need their cars.
Yeah, and that's how, because they, like you said, because they need their cars. That's how they're able to get over.
That's how
a lot of people go to work. The only time I had a place where I could walk to work was when I was in the military because it was on base. That's the only time I ever had a vehicle that I didn't need a vehicle. So most people need their vehicles.
I mean, I personally, debt slaves are giving away money. It ain't no reason to be stealing from. That's why when you go into shops, man, just you go in there, you look to see how it's because people that respect their business, they take care of their business.
Exactly.
It's neat, it's clean, especially a mechanic shop, right? If that's a mechanic, I mean, because if you go to the dealerships, you damn near, you look at the mechanic floors in a dealership place, you
Man.
damn near can eat off them damn
Right,
floors.
and really, because I just took my car in, even though what I'm paying for, I was like, now this is the first time I had a warranty where I didn't have to have no deductible.
Right,
But
right.
I go in there to the dealership, man, and I'm saying I'm okay. How much is my deductible? They said because I'm used to $50, $100. He said no, this ain't no, you ain't get no deductible. Like you said, the floor is clean, everything is clean, and I'm like,
You know,
dang,
you pretty much know what you're gonna get, what you're paying for. Yeah, you're gonna pay some extra, but look,
yeah,
and you know for a fact if you have a problem, they're just gonna come in and fix it. I mean,
hmm
they're gonna let you say, "Oh, screw you,"
hmm
they're gonna fix that no charge. That's because they already charging you if they ask for the fix anyway. They're gonna
yeah.
rob you again.
Now, see, through CarMax, I was telling them, yeah, CarMax is great, man. They got the best warranty. Because I say, if you take it to CarMax, you pay $50. And I used to hate taking the CarMax because you always got to wait like 2-3 days. But if I take it to like a dealership down the street, a mechanic down the street, I got to pay $100. But I was telling people, man, they got the best warranty. It's only $300, and man, and
That's crazy.
yeah, but
See, debt
yeah.
slaves don't know why they get warranties because they didn't have the money to buy the car. Of course, they want a
Mhm.
warranty. If you got the money to buy the car, of course you're gonna get a warranty because you ain't have the money to fix the car either. They just
I'm
keep
looking at
selling them
Andre.
and selling them.
Andre say I went to the Mercedes. The mechanics were wearing white coats. I believe,
Right, I
looking
believe that.
looking like what you call it, scientists in their
Yeah,
clean white
exactly.
lab coats.
I mean,
Wow.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. Well, I ain't gonna hold you, man. Thank you very much, man.
No
And
problem.
I appreciate what you telling me, man. Wish me luck on this deal. I got a meeting. Hopefully, I can get this. I'm, my first deal, and I'm investing in this house. So, in real estate. So this
Oh, you
wholesale deal
are?
I'm doing. Yeah. So hopefully it work out. This will be my first deal. So,
All right. I hope you're structuring it right and everything.
yeah. Hopefully I am too. I'm trying to do it right.
No, you gotta make sure you are, not hopefully, not in
Oh
business.
yeah. I mean, I make sure. I hope
Are
I'm
you
saying.
buying this for yourself or are you buying this to
No,
rent it
no,
out?
I'm wholesaling it.
Oh,
I'm going to
gotcha.
buy. I'm going to
Gotcha.
buy and ship it on to somebody else and get about $10,000 hopefully off the deal.
Okay.
I'm selling it to an investor. I'm trying to build my money up so eventually I can start buying my own property. So
All right. Good luck on that,
thank
man.
thank you very much. But and you helped me out because it was some stuff I was gonna do. Some deals didn't go through because stuff I learned from you. I'm like, no, this ain't the math ain't working. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I'm glad to be of help, man. For real. You're gonna
Yep,
master that. Keep doing
yep,
what you're doing.
most definitely.
Yeah. I love to hear people taking this knowledge and applying it to themselves, to business. Because math doesn't care if you're talking about business or personal. Okay. Math doesn't care about if you're talking about it. Just everything is. Okay. Everything is. If you're new to the channel in the background, don't be afraid to come up and ask me a question. I know a lot of you guys are sitting in the background talking, thinking, man, I ain't never heard nobody else talk like this. I know you haven't. I'm not saying that to brag. I just know you haven't. It's not a big deal. Know why I know you haven't? Because I haven't. I didn't for the first 40 years, 18 to 40, I had nobody talk to me the way I talk to you guys today. Nobody. All I heard was college, credit, job, retire at 65, invest in the retirement and 401k and stock market and gold and diamonds, fiat currency. You just hear all this garbly goop. Anybody you hear that sound like they're financially smart, this all I want you to say. You got student loans? Yeah. Don't listen to them anymore. That's it. That's where you stop. Doesn't matter what they're doing. Doesn't matter what kind of business they have. Doesn't matter what kind of car they drive. Doesn't matter. If they got student loans, remember, if they got student loans, everything you're seeing doesn't exist, mathematically speaking. They cannot see negative numbers psychologically. If they can't, since they can't, they don't know they don't own the car. They don't know they don't own the house. They don't know that they don't even own the phone in their hands. Don't be jealous of somebody getting a brand new iPhone 13. All you got to do is say, hey, did you pay cash for that? They're going to tell you no. Don't worry about it. They don't have an iPhone 13. when you see somebody with that and they making payments on an iPhone 13, that's a debt slave with the iPhone 13. That's it. I want you to be a person that owns themselves with the iPhone 13, not a debt slave with an iPhone 13. Who cares what they believe they have in their hand? They don't have nothing. They don't have no iPhone in their hands. I know it looks like an iPhone 13, but it's not. Can you imagine? They finance the phone, finance everything that go with it, covers, and then they get insurance on it. Listen, they get insurance on financed phones. You know why? Because they didn't have the money to buy the phone in the first place, so they don't have the money to get it fixed. So they sell them. Oh my God. Can you imagine how much a phone adds up to after they're done with them? Oh my God. Congratulations, Apple. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the banks in the debt matrix, all the financial institutions, all the institutions selling these debt slaves phone insurance and what's that insurance when they Gap insurance. Congratulations to all you guys. Congratulations. Congratulations to clothes makers, Gucci. You guys take a t-shirt, scribble something on it, buy a t-shirt for $1 and sell it for $200. Congratulations, Gucci. Congratulations. Versace, you take a bathrobe, put your name all over it, make the cuffs gold, and sell it for $700. Congratulations. Congratulations, Versace. Congratulations. I don't know how long it took you guys to get debt slaves to believe stuff like that, but congratulations. And then even have the people advertise for you and tell you how much they paid for your overpriced product. Congratulations. They'd be proud to say how much they spent $700 on the Versace robe and tell the world that. Congratulations. I don't know how you did it. I'm sure it started well before I was born. Well before I was born. Any questions? Debt Free Advice Fridays. I'm here to share my gift to help you own yourself. More than just personal finances, you will own your entire life. Your percentage of being in divorce court or bad relationships or people scamming your finances, all that comes to a cease. Debt slaves don't know me and people like me exist. They don't know we exist. So they don't know what they're saying. Like, for example, financial scams. Financial scams cannot make any mathematical sense. That's why it's a financial scam. Hold on for a second. I had to turn on that AC. It started getting warm up in here. Anyway, any questions? What Sal say? Slaves buy all those things or finance. I know material slaves are right next to debt slaves. Some people have no loans but spend more than they make. Yeah, that's true. I mean, at least the people that have no loans, at least they can just, if they come across a channel like this, at least they can stop. Once they stop, they're free, right? They could just stop today, right? With no debt, with no loans, right? But people in debt, people with student loan debt, yeah. If you got student loans, that are older than your kids, if you got student loans, you went to college for 4 years, but you got your student loans for 10 years, you need to come see me ASAP. Because pretty soon those 10 years are going to turn into 20 years. And then 20 years into 30 years. And then they're going to be so large you'll never be able to pay them off. The time is ticking. Your student loans are like a ticking time bomb. One day, you're not going to have the resources to be able to pay them off, and that's it. Once that happens, that is it. You're toast. You will have to accept dying with student loan debt. Now, I know the majority of your friends around you, they always say, oh, man, whatever. They ain't going to get their money anyway, and they just live with them. You know, you better stop hanging around those type of people. Because what they don't know, they've accepted of dying a debt slave, never being free ever their entire life. Because you cannot be free while having student loan debt. You can't. You can never experience what it feels like to be free with student loan debt. You cannot. You can imagine in your head, but you'll never know what that feels like until you do it. Ever. Do you really want to live your whole entire life not knowing what it feels like to be free? I promise you don't. I promise you that. Promise you. There's nothing like it. I hope you listen to the sound of my voice. Does it sound like it's quivering, or I'm making it up, or I'm kind of like unsure of it? No, I'm 100% sure. There's no other channel like this channel on YouTube. No other channel. Go try to find it. You won't. Because when I thought about it, like I said earlier, when I found out the percentage of people that make 6 figures, I was like, damn. I didn't realize it was that low. Can you imagine the percentage of people that know what I'm telling you right now? Man. Man. And if you're in debt, they ain't going to talk to you. The majority of them don't even talk about it. Because they don't want to hear all your excuses to why you having debt all your life. There is no excuse. There is no excuse to have student loans older than your children. When you walk into the bank begging for a mortgage with student loan older than your children, the bank is going to financially abuse you. You haven't paid off your student loan debt and you're coming in begging for more debt like debt slaves do. Hey, we got subprime mortgages, 3.5% down, borrow money from your cousin and your brother and your sister and your cousin to put the down payment. If you borrow from all them friends and you got student loan debt and you get a subprime mortgage and you're doing all that and you think you're a homeowner, they just financially abused you. You are so far from being a homeowner, it's pathetic. Like, think about it this way. You notice how they'll clear out a couple of acres of land and put about 50,000 houses on it. Have you ever noticed that? When you come on to places like that, guess what those houses are designed for? People with student loan debt. People deep in debt that want to be homeowners so bad, they're willing to pay homeowner association dues, PMI, all this stuff in a little piece of land with a millimeter of grass on the front and the sides, and they think they're homeowners. You can have one, maybe 2 cars, but you better not have a 5-person gathering. Now you got to tell all your neighbors, hey, my friend, no place to park, nothing. That's for debt slaves. If you live in one of those neighborhoods, ask all your friends. You have a mortgage? Do you have a mortgage? What kind of mortgage do you have? What kind of mortgage? The majority of them are going to say FHA mortgage, subprime, some subprime mortgage. That's why you guys all live there. You're right, Gabriel. It's literally volunteer slavery. Our whole economy is volunteer. You volunteer to what side you want to be on. The side that trusts the calculator or the side that doesn't. That's totally up to you. Omanika says, Michael Worker told me today that he won't pay his student loans off yet. He says that he knows Biden will pay them off. Man. Oh, my coworker, gotcha. He says Michael Worker. Hey, now if you're in an FHA mortgage right now and you're listening to this, right? It's not too late. Now I know you're thinking, man, I've been in this thing 5 years, 7 years. I thought I was building up equity. I stopped, let it all go. It's all an illusion. Equity's not real. That's not real. That's a bank. That's how the bank sells stuff. Equity is a sale. That's a sale. Equity's not real. Exactly, Andre. It's not personal. It's business. It's nothing. Hey, listen. It's business. Hey, let it go. Just say, yeah, I messed up. Just go to the mirror and say, I financially fucked up. That's what you got to say to yourself. Go to the mirror and say that to yourself. And it's okay. The sooner you say it to yourself, the better. An intangible, what'd you say? An intangible 1018. Is that 1018? There you go, speaking alien again. I'm going to watch Christmas movies. See you, Andre. PCA. If that's you in the subprime mortgage, just hey, man. You had all those gatherings, home-warming gatherings, all your friends. Oh, this is a nice house and blah, blah, blah. Let all that go. Let it go. It's okay. Don't worry about what your friends think. Hey, why they lose this house? He couldn't afford. Hey, don't worry about any of that. Who cares what debt slaves think? That's why they pack about 50,000 houses on the lot. You guys believe you're homeowners. You do. Like we're down here in South Carolina, man, they are making those neighborhoods like hotcakes. It's like one day I'm driving down the freeway. I see all the trees are cleared. Drive down the freeway the next week, they got 50 houses built. As soon as one's built, somebody's in it. You better hurry up. Better come and get them fast. They always put the fast up. Hey, you better hurry up. You're losing out. You better hurry up. Oh. Exactly, Omanike. You just got to say it to yourself. You guys think I'm joking. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. You need to go to the mirror and say that to yourself. That's a big financial red pill to swallow because they're tossing the red pill around on the internet. You guys don't know which red pill anybody read. I'm talking about the financial red pill here. Financial red pill. This is where you get the financial red pill. It's a big pill to swallow to realize, to look around this house and know that it's not yours. You look in the backyard, see what you've done. You add the gazebo and the hot tub and the swimming pool and the fence, and none of it's yours. You refinanced the house, pulled out the money, and redid the kitchen and the downstairs. None of it's yours. It doesn't matter. Did it increase the value of the house? Yeah, but not for you. You did it for the bank. It's okay. Hey, man, you did it for the bank. Check this out. The bank owns the house. You borrowed more money from the bank using their house to upgrade the house, which increased the value of the house for them, not you. They didn't have to do nothing. Can you imagine that kind of deal? You own a house. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to you don't have to upgrade it. You don't have to the debt slaves do it all for you. Like when you finance a house and your refrigerator goes out, try to call up your bank and say, "Hey, the refrigerator went out. What are you guys going to do about it?" "Hey, the AC went out. The central AC went out. Bank, what are you going to do about it?" They'll just hang up on you. "What are you calling us for? You're the homeowner." Click. That's a big red pill to swallow. That's a hard, tough red pill to swallow. But I'm going to tell you this. Without debt slaves, the housing market couldn't exist. Okay? Why wouldn't it exist? Because there'd be nobody left to finance houses. If debt slaves knew they wasn't homeowners with mortgages, the housing market would crash. I don't want that to happen. That's why you guys believe it takes 30, now 40 years. 40 years to pay off a house. 40? Well, that's what they tell you. That's what they tell you. They keep changing the age of retirement, the mortgages, and all this. Hey, man. They're financially well, you're financially abusing yourself. Let me stop saying they're financially abusing you. You are financially abusing yourself. I can only imagine when a person goes to a bank asking for a mortgage and then they run your credit and you got $100,000, $200,000 in student loan debt that you've had for 10 years. Talking about you want a mortgage for $350,000, $400,000 on top of your debt. I bet you the bank's like, don't this person know they're going to be $500,000 in debt? Nope. That's why they're there. Awareness is the ability to see the obvious. So when you walk in the bank, knowing that you got $100,000 in student loan debt and you're asking for a mortgage for $350,000, you obviously don't know that transaction is going to put you almost $500,000 in debt. You don't know that because you're there in the bank asking for it. You obviously don't know. That alone tells the bank that you don't know because you're there in the bank filling out the paperwork to get a loan. So what are they going to do? They're going to financially abuse you because you don't know. That's just business. It's business. It's nothing personal. Just your EIN number, the business of you, is your social security number. You don't know you have you have a personal EIN number, but it's psychological. Employee identification number. That's your social security number. That's what it really is. Because when you go get a mortgage, it's business. When you go get a car, it's business. And they need that number to complete that business. No different than owning a business with an EIN number. But you guys don't know. You have an employee identification number. You don't have an employer identification. You have an employee. It's psychological. It's not. They change it to SSD or SSN. Excuse me, not SSN. Social Security number. See, I don't see, and this is what I'm getting tired of with Andre. Every time he emails me, I have to look up words every time. Define this, define that. Oh, he think he's so smart because he's using big words. You know how many words I had to look up? We had me and Andre had some emails going back. You know how many times I had to go look up words? I'm tired of looking up words. And then first I got to learn how to pronounce them. Good thing they have the little speaker button next to the words so I can push it. So first I have to learn how to pronounce it. And then I have to learn the definition. Then I have to learn how to spell it. PCA. Think you're so smart. You think you're cool because you got a spaceship. Anybody can get one of those. Anybody. Okay? Anybody can get one. I just don't want one. I don't want no stupid spaceship. Spaceships are for nerds anyway. There's an intern in see, I don't even know. Is that PH or F? See, I don't even know. I gotta look it up. see something here. Let me see. Fine. OPH THAL. Long ass word. Mology. Come on, Google, fill this in, man. I don't feel like spelling this all the way out. That's what you're there for, Google. I don't want to spell all that. Okay. Gotcha. Ophthalmologist. Okay, especially in branch of medicine concerns. Oh, goodness gracious, man. Get a life, Andre, man. Get a life. Get outside more, okay? Gabriel says, one goal in life is to visit every major city in the world. Cities in the world I'm going to do. Hey, man, do that. Gabriel, you can be able to do, you now know at your young age, you can do anything you want. So if that's what you decide to do, go do it. Death Slade's going to think it's stupid. Why would you want to do that? That's dumb. I remember when I first left the country. Do you know how many people, especially black people, have not left the country before? Never left the country. Never. Man, when I first did that, luckily, I met a woman in Canada that did that. And when I met her, she was like, have you ever left the country? I was like, no. She was like shocked. She was like, you ain't never left the United States? I mean, I've been to Canada, but besides that, because Seattle's right next to Canada, could just drive right up, right? But she's like, no, have you ever been out of the country to another country? I was like, no. She was like, well, we're going to change that. Got my passport. And the first time I went outside the country, it's like, whoa. Especially when I went to Australia, right? It's like, I've never been to a place where I have the accent. If you've never experienced going to a place where you have the accent, it's different. Because you got to remember, you have the accent, but you can't hear your accent. Okay? You can't hear your accent. Because when you go there, to you, all of them have an accent, but you got to remember, you're in their country. So you have the accent, not them. So they tell you to say words and stuff like that. It's funny. And then they start kind of giggling and laughing, but you don't know what they're laughing at because you don't know what you don't know what they're hearing. After that, I've been to Cuba, I've been to Mexico, I've been to Dominican Republic. There's nothing like traveling outside the country. Nothing. Many don't leave their block. You're right. If you ain't never had a passport, and matter of fact, I got to get mine renewed because it expired this year, man. It expires every 10 years, man. You'll be amazed how fast 10 years go by, man. I'm going on my third passport because I just went through. Well, this one is the one I'm on is my second one, which is about to expire. So that means 20 years already. So now I'm about to get my third. It's bananas, man. It's crazy how fast 10 years go. But if you never traveled out, own yourself first, and you will be able to do a lot of things that you never thought you could do. Like I always shout out right now, SMD will be known worldwide. Many people are going to know me. 2022 is my year. I'm saying things never heard before. Just like I was on Dr. Dunbar's show the other day. If you missed it, go through the videos, go through the collabs section, go to the playlist, go to collabs and click on that video. I put in a link to where you could see my credit report, right? Log in there and see it. And people are like, man, I've never seen a blank credit report before. I know, that's why I put it up there. I log into my Credit Karma live and I recorded it. and it's up there for everybody to see. You guys go try to find another person that logs into their credit report and shows you their entire credit report. And I believe when I made it a couple years ago. So I'm around 48, maybe 49, something like that, 47, somewhere around there, right? Go find another 47, 48-year-old credit report that looks like that one. That's why I can just leave that one up there. I don't have to do it again because you'll never find somebody at that age with a blank credit report and a good credit score. Baffles the mind. What's up, Eclectic? Rise and shine. Shout out to everyone producing respect for themselves in all areas. What's up, sir? Oh, gotcha. Any questions before we get off here? We're at 2 hours, 9 minutes. Yeah. Gabriel, you're young, man. So you do it though. Do it, man. You're gonna get outside the country. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, everything's not like the US. Nope. Sure ain't. When you live here, you're like, everybody wants to come to the US. And then you get outside the US, you're like, that's not true. That's not true. Everybody doesn't want to come here. That's not true. I remember the first time I traveled outside the country on vacation. Europeans go on vacation more than us, and they travel outside the country more than us, right? So I remember I went to Mexico, and they call it holiday. They don't call it vacation. They say, we're going on holiday, which is, it sounds funny to us, but that's how they say vacation, right? You can imagine how vacation sounds to them. But anyway, I met this German couple on the beach, right? And they said, hey, how are you? Where are you from? I said, I'm from the US. Then, everybody kind of chit chat. And they say, hey, you on vacation? I was like, yeah. They say, how long you here for? I said, about a week. They was like, a week? They gave me this look like, a week? Like, that ain't shit. I said, how long are you guys here? 3 weeks? I was like, a month? They're like, yeah, that's how we do. That was like the way they were saying that's like normal to go on a vacation for 3 weeks. I was like, holy mo! I was just amazed. And now that I'm out of the debt matrix, you know why I was amazed? Because I had never, ever taken a vacation that long in my whole adult working life. Never. Once I experienced that, it's nothing like it. First, when I first quit my job, I'm out a month. Okay. A month, yeah, I'm just worried. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have gaps on my resume and this. And you go through this, it's almost like withdrawal coming off of some heroin or something, right? And then 2 months, you're like, oh my God, that's a 2-month gap on my resume, man. Nobody's gonna hire me. I can't really make the money. Computer industry is going advanced. And then 3 months came, and I was like, oh shit. And then after about 6 months came, I started calming down. And then I started relaxing, enjoying not having to work, not going to work, not having to, but not going to work. And then after I made it a year, that's when I realized a lot of things. The work week, 40-hour work week, all that's programmed. Saturday and Sunday are special days. No, it's not. They're just days. Saturday and Sunday are just the same as Monday. Okay. I stopped looking at the clock. Because when I was in a debt matrix, I was always worried about what time it was, right? But once I quit, I started feeling bad because I didn't know what time it was during the day. People would ask me, hey, man, what time it is? I don't know. What time is it? I don't know. And I started feeling bad, but that was just part of the residue of the program leaving me. It's like, there's 7 days in a week. And if you're working Monday through Friday, this is a regular 40-hour week. You're working Monday through Friday. That means Out of 7 days, your employer owns 5 of those days, and you only own 2, maybe, and it's not really even 2. It's Saturday and half of Sunday. Because half of Sunday, your mind is already mentally preparing yourself for Monday. So come around 3, 4 o'clock, your mind is already preparing. Okay, I got to get my food together. I got to make sure I got gas in my car. And let me check the news, make sure that you're already ready. They get those 1 month. Yeah, they do. It's crazy, man. Blew my mind. I go to Mexico every time I cruise. Great times, cheap shopping. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy going to Mexico. I haven't done a cruise, but I love going to the part of Mexico. 'Cause if you go to like the main parts of Mexico, I swear it feels like you're still in the United States of America, right? If you go to a popular Mexico destination, right? I went to Playa del Carmen. It was a mixture of tourists and the hometown people, which I liked because I didn't want because when you first land, you land into the big Mexico cities, the big ones, right? But when you land, there's Burger King, KFC, McDonald's everywhere. It's like, wait a minute, I thought I left the country, right? But you know, dreams turn into reality. That's why I was fascinated with there's a movie I always watch called Limited. I think it's called Limited. Limited? That movie where he takes the pill and he becomes this smart dude, right? But that's what waking up feels like. Like I took this pill, which is the red pill, financial red pill, and woke up just like him. You can see everything. And I remember, let me see. I think it's called Limited. Let me see. Movie Limited. Let me see if that's really called Limited. It is called Limited. Yeah. Limitless. Excuse me. Limitless. I'm sorry. Limitless. And I'm going to put if you guys never seen this movie, I strongly suggest and if you're a SMD, I strongly suggest you watch this movie again as let me see if this is it. Yeah, here we go. I strongly suggest you rewatch this movie and just replace the pill that they're using in this movie. Replace it with the financial red pill. Okay, and rewatch that movie. You're gonna be like, damn. You're gonna I'm gonna watch this tonight. I'm gonna watch it tonight. Limitless. And I remember when I was watching that movie back in 2011 it came out. I remember watching that movie. I said, what if that is real? That's all I used to say to myself. What's that real? It is real. Thanks, Andre. I mean, it just came to me. It is real. That's what it feels like. Watch that movie. If you want to know what it feels like to take the financial red pill of SMD, watch that movie. That's what it feels like. You can see things just like he's saying that nobody else can see. You're going to blow them away. They won't know how you're doing it. The real pill is just trusting the calculator. Okay. It's nothing fancy like that, right? You just trust the calculator and you'll see. Love that movie. Loved it. I even growing up, I've always loved movies like that. Now that I'm outside the debt matrix, I realized the movie makers, whoever wrote the movie, they obviously could see, and that's the best way they can depict what they're seeing. Because I can actually show you. I feel like I'm the first person that actually can show you with a calculator. Right? I can show you the debt matrix with a calculator. I can show you. Like when I watched that movie, it's like somebody that knows, they said, okay, this is the best way I can actually show some people on a movie screen because it's psychological. It's not physical. So you have to trade over to physical. And for me, doing the transformation from psychological to physical is the calculator. The calculator allows me to take it from psychological to physical. Now, you just have to believe the physical, which is when you're looking at the calculator and you're seeing a large negative number, now you just have to believe what your eyeballs are seeing. You're right about that. I agree with that. I agree. I 100% agree with that, Andre. They're encoded. But if you're in the debt matrix, you can't see what's encoded. You can't. You're probably, that's why you're stuck on, just large, superhero movies and shit like that. Because the things that they're doing, it's physically impossible. That you clearly understand. You'll never be able to fly or shoot lightning, shoot rays out your eyes. That's impossible. You won't do that. You can't do that. But the movie Limitless, that pill is real, but it's a psychological pill. It's not a physical pill. And I'm telling you this, once you take this pill, you can't go back. So I want you guys to understand this. Once you take this SMD financial red pill, you cannot go back. There is no going back. Or you need an eye surgeon, like, or eye surgeon, like, yeah, a psychological eye surgeon. I'm very good at my craft too. Did I go to school? No. What that got to do with it? And my hands are shaky too, but I ain't got nothing to do with it either. It's psychological. It's not physical. I would be doing eye surgery until the day I die. Till I'm dead. That's why I got to hurry up, man. I keep telling you guys that don't know, I'm here to create a legacy. That's why you guys will never see this channel be like most of the popular channels of gossip. That will never happen. You know why? Because in 10 years, you won't even know who they are. You won't even remember them. Everything they're talking about will be invalid. Then it'll be irrelevant. Everything SMD produces will be valid to the end of time. Everything I talk about will be valid always. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now. Long as I keep out specific dates and places, you guys will never know what time I'm talking about. You won't know what era I'm talking. As long as I keep those key factors out of there when I'm talking. Like if I just talk about credit and how it really works and how debt slaves fall for it, if I don't say anything, credit's going to be here until you're dead. So it'll always be valid. That's what I love about what I do. That's why I love it. It will always be valid because the calculator never gets old. You could have an old calculator, right? That you bought right now, right? That took batteries or whatever. And you can wait 20 years and then pop batteries in and then type in 1 + 1 and hit equal. It's still going to say 2. Put that bad boy back in the closet for 20 years. Pop some new batteries in and say 1 + 1. It's still going to say 2. It doesn't matter what the calculator looks like, how big it is, how small it is, if it was digital screen or not or whatever, right? It's still going to say 2. That's SMD. Agree. When I say you can't go back, you're not going to want to go back either. You will be able to see. You can be as rich as you want to be. A millionaire, a multimillionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire. You can be anything you want. You can be as rich as you want to be. Because people now, and I'm gonna tell you guys this right now before I get big on stages and everything. I want you guys to realize how many people are going to be asking about my net worth. I'm going to tell you guys the answer right now. I don't talk about that. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say to them. I don't talk about that. Hey, LJ, how much are you worth? I don't talk about that. Or I might throw in, I have $1. I have $1 in my savings account. I don't know. I'm playing with both of those. I don't know which one I'm going to use all the time. It's going to bounce between those two. Because you guys know $1 in my account, if they got student loans, I could have $1 in my account and have more than them. All right, we're gonna cut this off in about 2 hours 30 minutes. So if there's any question, you got about 7 minutes now. Oops. Go check out my movie Limitless. I ain't seen that movie in a while, and I definitely haven't watched it with my eyes today. I don't think I haven't. I haven't watched it with my eyes today. I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy that movie tonight. You know, so funny. It's like when people watch that movie, they're gonna be like, "Man, I wish that pill was real." It is. It's real, psychologically real. They can't show you a psychological pill on the screen. No different than the Matrix movies with the blue pill and the red pill. Those pills are psychological. They're not physical pills. Debt slaves swallow blue pills every single day. Every time they finance something, they're swallowing a blue pill. They just don't know they're swallowing a blue pill. Put it this way. Imagine how many people that are how many blue pills are being swallowed, people financing iPhone 13s. Every single carrier is pushing iPhones down your freaking throat. T-Mobile got a forever plan. Forever slaves. Forever debt slaves. Get you a new iPhone every single year, every single 2 years, forever trapped. They can't call you forever slaves. They can't do that. They would make no money. But if you're financing new phones every single year, you are a debt slave, period. Being financially abused. Gabriel says financial red pillars wannabes are sure just, so crazy. It's like every now and then I'll cruise across the YouTube channels and people be talking, just type in red pill. Just type in red pill. Watch how many videos pop up with all different definitions of red pill. None of them say financial red pill, though. None of them. I always do things to separate myself from them. I'm talking about the financial red pill. Red pill in the debt matrix have so many different meanings. Financial red pill has one. There is no multiple definitions. When I wear my debt shirt, when they ask me about it, I'm going to say, I have to introduce you to LJ, aka Morpheus. I honestly, man, I do feel like Morpheus. I do. I ain't gonna lie. At first, when I looked at the Matrix, I thought I was Neo, but I'm Morpheus for sure. Movies, just like Andre said, movies are encoded with some stuff, man. Because you look at it, oh, there's no such pill to make you smart. Yes, there is. And honestly, I believe there's a physical pill that can do that. I truly 100% believe that. There's a physical pill that can open up parts of your brain that you didn't know that existed. Guaranteed. How do I know this? Because owning myself opened up different parts of my brain. I have a whole different financial reality than millions of people. That is true. It's true. You better believe there's a pill for it. You'll never see it. I just did it naturally, but I'm sure there's a pill out there that can accelerate the process dramatically. But that's a whole different thing. Any questions? Well, you guys have a wonderful evening. All right. Like I said, the movie's called Limitless. I'm going to watch that tonight myself. All right. You guys have a good one. Later.